do. Ba, 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 bum, bum. A little sound test. So we are good to go. Oh, the stream is live. Good morning, JOF. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Took a few days to kind of chill out, and what the hell happened? Oh, okay. All right. Took a few days off to kind of relax, and as I said last week, we're getting ready to probably have well, as far as I know, we will be having the boy, the baby, and the mama all moving in, and it's gonna be fun. All right, let me go over to this real quick. JOF forums. So we've been kind of rearranging the living room. We've been getting some other small stuff done. I gotta move the desk out here probably in the next 3-4 weeks tops. I'll have to disassemble my entire office, pack a bunch of stuff up for the next couple years, and yeah, my living room will be the office, or the living room will, yeah, something like that. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. Please give me a break. Where is it? There it is. Let me see. It is kind of a quiet morning so far in JOF. We are live. I'll just leave that alone. I think later on I get permissions, and I should be able to drop that kind of link. I don't know, maybe. This would be a good spot for that, whatever. Socrates, what do you say? Let me know via PM if there is an event you would like me to do. PM me, and I may consider your suggestion. I want everyone to have fun. Well, that's sort of the problem. I don't even know what events we have. Do we even have anything that, tells us what events JOF has? No, I do not hear about Jaffa. That's just that. I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for showing any of this. This is just public stuff. Or things you can see from the public side. I don't think there is a spot currently I can go to see a list of the events and what they encompass. That kind of sucks a little bit now that I think about that. By the way, if the audio isn't right, just let me know. So far, it should be okay. I have the music turned off in game, so hopefully it won't be too loud, but we probably will be watching a few videos today and covering a few topics. Because there's just kind of a lot going on in the world that does sort of well, not going on in the world in general, but some things that do affect Star Wars and whatnot. What I want to talk about today is actually going to be probably the Mandalorian Grogu movie. It's, I have a feeling this is going to be an utter flop. I think it'll do okay, like maybe 300-400 million kind of deal, but, and that's kind of sad because, again, a Star Wars movie, but it falls into the category of probably like the Ewok Adventures. And for those of you who do not know, because there are some people who really don't know. So one of the biggest mistakes, and you know a true Star Wars nerd, is when you ask them how many original films there were. And if they say 3, they're a fucking idiot. There were 6 films in the beginning. There was A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. There was Ewok Adventures 1 and 2, and there was also the Holiday Special. There were 6 original films. Even the original 6 films entered with 2 really strong, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi was like the weaker of the 3, but still did pretty damn good. And then it just it had 3 failures as well. Ewok Adventures, both were pretty much failures. Even though I personally think they're really, really good, kind of cute, childish movies. It's something I will definitely use to introduce the grandkid to Star Wars softly. The Ewok Adventures, different little bits and pieces like that. But the Holiday Special, I wouldn't show Hitler. Okay, I wouldn't show anybody. But there is a beautiful part where Carrie Fisher sings in it, and that is really nice. But that's about the only good part of that. That and the horny grandpa Wookiee. Kind of funny. Somebody needs to make a model of that dude. Guy had like a messed up face. Seriously, like, look at this. What was this? Grandpa Wookiee. Yeah. Look at it. Look at this thing. What the hell is this? This is the shit of nightmares. Dear God. I am so saving that. Yeah, that's just incredibly beautiful. All right, but I'm going to go quickly grab a cup of coffee. First, let me set you guys up with a little bit of music and whatnot. Try to get this all right today. Let's see. What do we want to listen to? Let's see. Royalty-free metal music. Yeah. It's not like I'm making any money on this channel anyway, so I don't really fucking care. This is... Yeah. Alright, that should be alright without being too loud for anyone. Oh, turn that down just a touch more. There we go. But yes, I'm going to go grab some coffee real quick. I'm going to grab the dog a biscuit, fix my hair real quick, put on my makeup, get pretty real quick. So we're going to take like a 5-minute break, and then we will get started with the stream. We're probably going to be working on... Now, I was tinkering with this last night, my Titanic, but we will probably be tinkering with the cabin more today. Let's go ahead and save. Save that. Starting to actually make some headway on this potentially today. Get maybe some of the exterior detailing going. And then, of course, we're going to hang out with the guys. We're going to talk a little Star Wars. We're going to talk Mandalorian Grogu. We're going to go over some embarrassing things with Disney right now. Pretty much, they've gotten their hand caught with the cookie jar. Hand caught in the cookie jar. And it's kind of just one of those things where it needs to end. Oh my gosh, why is this thing like this? There you go. And then, of course, we're going to hang out with the guys. We're going to talk a little Star Wars. We're going to talk Mandalorian Grogu. We're going to go over... Okay, so I can, embarrassing things. I can turn that up. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get the volumes just right. Or you can turn that up just a touch more. Should be all right. All right. Okay, I'll be right back. I love y'all. And yeah, enjoy while I go get some things. What the? Oh, duh, Nick. That was a moment ago. Jeez. Oh. right. Oh. Got the coffee, got the cig. We're good. Had to run all over the house real quick. Okay. So, something else I want to talk about, just real quick. I find it funny. Because I'm going to figure out who the hell it is eventually. But, all right. Let me get my coffee. Oh, that's good stuff. So, I've noted that every time I start discussing Jawa, my views go up. And I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to discuss this bit of it, as I'm kind of done with the topic of Jawa overall. But one thing I've noted is that every time I'm talking about them, my views become 2, 3, 4 times what they normally are. I'll look at the video later on, and it'll have like over 100 views. All right, for a little stream for a nobody channel, okay. But the real point is that I look at them going, okay, so I normally get like 50, and then in the same time frame, this one got 150, same length video, actually crappier title. So what this tells me is that there is somebody who's a sub to my channel who is just a little spy bitch for them. And quite frankly, they can just all stay off my damn channel is the way I feel about it. Because every time I say something, it is literally not even 12 hours before I'm hearing references to things I said. I am seeing people just instantly be little whiny bitches about it. And I'm quite frankly kind of get tired of, like, I can't say what I want on my own channel. There are so many things right now I feel completely restrained on being able to say. Because I know certain people will get so butthurt, I will probably get completely banned from this game. And really, I just want to live in peace. I just want to be kind of left alone. But, when I see, you know, again, the numbers, and then I see the reactions in game, and I see the reactions, you know, whatever. Like the other night, I was over in the Jawa server, and I was watching them. Again, because they think they have me fucking blocked. You can't block anyone nowadays, you idiots. So, I'm in there, and the shit they say, I swear, when they really think the story that they put out, complete fucking bullshit. Never once applied for counsel. As I pointed out the other day. And it's just one of those things I'm kind of tired of not being able to say what I want to say on my own channel without somebody coming along and going, "You're a bad boy. How dare you say that?" Here's what I say again. I go back to this. If you didn't want the shit out there, perhaps you shouldn't have done it. Okay? Now, that all aside, what I do find funny, like I said, is that my views become 2 or 3, 4 times what they are whenever I bring that up. Which, like I said, tells me that somebody's instantly taking the link they're watching as soon as I freaking bring up the stream. They're paying attention the whole way through. As soon as I say anything, they're dropping a link to these guys, and that's why I see whatever. And then I instantly see a reaction in game from them and their little cronies. Here's what I have to say. If you don't like what I have to say, don't subscribe to my channel. Be gone. But don't sit here in the middle holding me accountable. I don't like you. You don't like me? Go the fuck away. There you go. That's all you gotta do. Anyways, so that's all I'm gonna say on that matter, is that I do see it. I have seen the reaction. I have noticed it like several times now. Getting a little over it. So, knock your shit off, Alicia. Be gone. Now that all aside, I hope the music is... Oh, shit. Oh, what the fuck? The music stopped for some reason. Should be alright, but that's actually a little fucking loud, dude. Jeez. I don't even want it that loud. Yeah. Oh. Like, I'm weirdly sure I'll probably hear something about this later on. I will. Somebody will fucking run their mouth about what I have to say. It's just how it is. And I would say this to him: you should be concerned. You should have been concerned when yeah. It's just But on the plus side, Sam and I will be doing another podcast. As far as I know, this coming up weekend, over on Star Wars Central, and then there's another channel I will probably do a bit distracted. Another channel, let's see, 138,000 subscribers. We're probably going to be partnering up. He also does Star Wars content, but also kind of covers more things than just Star Wars. He kind of covers a little bit of Alien, a little bit of Back to the Future. If everything goes well, it'll be a good podcast for me. Really get the name, get the voice out there a little bit further. As well as this year, probably starting in fall, I'll probably be pushing for a few new contracts on the voice acting end. To sort of make up for some things and subsidize with the kids moving in. We're gonna need a lot more money, and we can't continue to get by on what we have right now. So I gotta do something on my end. You know how it is. As it is, as it be, geez, as it always is when you're a man, you have to fucking correct and pay for everybody else's mistakes. Yeah. A little voice acting. Been doing that for a long time. Off and on a minor bit. But it is time to, I don't know, at least start going like semi-pro or something like that. I don't know. It's time to up my game, up my reach. I was pushing really good a couple years ago, and this is something I need to bring up on the channel. I've been meaning to make a video for this channel for a while, like just straight up confronting why has there been no more content on Outcast Cantina. We started to build up about a year ago where I was getting ready to drop, a bunch of ambient videos, and I was about to start some more lore. But the problem is this, and a lot of other lore channels are in the same boat. We can't keep up, not with AI. You literally cannot keep up with the quality. You can't keep up with the visuals. You can't keep up with the pace. A lot of your favorite channels, you probably noticed, have sort of fallen off. At the same time, you have this rise of just AI slop out the ass. Nobody can keep up with it. So many of us have just backed off and just sort of focus on our own projects. Like Sam, he's focusing on his Kotar series and all that good stuff. I've been concentrating on getting my game up and going and spending a lot more time with my clan and finishing up old maps and things like that. But I am sitting here realizing that JKA, man, the JKA itself its main ride is pretty much over. JKA is a legacy game now that, you have 2, 3, 4, 500 people that play it. And that's good. Nothing wrong with it. I ain't walking away from it. I love that little community. But it is the smallest community I deal with. And the most ironic part is, it is the most annoying and most problematic. Gotta be real. I've had more issues in JKA, specifically with one clan, than I have literally had even on my professional end, dealing with other people and other groups, other games. Like, it goes back to what I said. Like, a lot of those people who have been like coming at me this last year, they show themselves as they're not good leaders. They're not good material for a company. They're not good for anything. They're some sociopaths that happen to click together and have a lot of people fooled. Some sociopaths and some other fucking disorders along the way. And then they like it because they like to tear apart and mock somebody with a little bit of an anxiety issue. I have an anxiety issue, ladies and gentlemen, from dealing with assholes like you all my life and having to put them in their place. It's a lot of stress. We got Master Chief in JKA. What? Oh? But anyways, enough of all that drama, because that was not supposed to be today's video topic at all. You know, we're just kind of covering it. It's something, like I said, I noticed. And to whoever is spying for them, get the fuck off my channel. That's pretty much all I wanted to say. To them, you can stay the fuck off my channel and screw off. I don't know what to tell you. Dealing with the fucking ruse. I was supposed to sit down and work on Coach's skin a bit last night, but I don't even know what the hell I ended up doing, to be honest. Like, I spent several hours till like 3 a.m. Oh, I do know what I did last night. So, Titanic, Honor and Glory. For those of you who don't know, last night was April 14th, and it was the 114th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. So, I sit there and watch their whole thing, and it was absolutely incredible. Like, they had a whole new model, whole new animation. It was absolutely freaking incredible. And I know we're supposed to be getting the game this year. Now, how flushed out that will be, I don't know. Because as far as I understand, their biggest hang-up was it's the NPCs. Which, just stop and think for a moment. Let's look at just one NPC. Let's look at the captain. If you were going to script him for his 4 days, you know, from start to finish, when the ship leaves to, you know, to the moment he dies, when the ship goes down, everything. But just that one person. From everywhere, from where they move to what they do, the timings, to every bit of dialogue. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. And then you're talking about a ship that has 2,200 possible interactive souls on board. Yeah. It's a lot of people keep discrediting them, and it's like, dude, you're dealing with like a team of like maybe 24 people. You need to cut them a little slack. Now, I do agree that at this point in time, it is taking way too fucking long, and you need to get us some sort of game. Like, they need to get the base game out. It's sort of like I need to do my maps, and what I will be doing here in the next couple months. I will be taking the Jedi Temple, I will be taking Erevanis, I will be taking Jedi's Home 3.5, I will be taking Academy version 4, and I will be putting them all up in alpha states. And this is exactly what they need to do. They need to just release the game in alpha state, and then allow us, and then just update them every like month or a few months or whatnot. But like, I intend to do my maps about every 2 weeks to a month. Yeah, go check whichever one you're watching, because it'll probably be updated. And that's probably the best way to just kind of get them out finally. Stop getting comments like you're the master of failed promises, and, you know, kind of tell some people to piss the fuck off. Oh, let's see what is going on. Oh. Oh, shit. Where are Jawas and JKA? Is that? Oh, yeah. They are a guild, clan, whatever. I would honestly try JOF. They're pretty much the only really active clan anymore. You have KR still around, and you still have Jawa. And this is purely not knocking. All right, KR is literally just like a handful of people that kind of come together and hang out once in a while. Not knocking them. And then you have JOF, very active. Like, we don't even have enough freaking server slots for how busy we get sometimes. And then you got Jawa. I haven't seen them past 12 people in their server in months, not since I left. Again, I'm not knocking. It's just a correlation. Like, they would get like peak of 20-something days when I was around, and then when I left and the video came out and people kind of saw how they were, I've watched their traffic just drop. Like, the max I've seen them with is like a dozen people. And I know they have to have had their Jawa League since then, and I still have not seen them peak more than, I think it was like 14, 16 people. So their problem is if you're looking at a clan potentials, there are a lot of leaders, not enough low underlings. And so you're going to end up in a power vacuum problem. So your best bet, honestly, is Jaffa. Do they still do matches like guild fights? No, sadly, they don't. Unfortunately... well, this isn't unfortunate. I mean, apparently there is a like ceasefire between KR, Jawa, and JOF for a while now. You know, they're all kind of allies and whatnot. Whether, you know, the other side sees them as allies as much as they would like, whatever. But Jaffa does honor its whatever. By other, yeah, same here. Like, that's what I miss. I miss the not necessarily clan wars, but you know, clan sieges and things like that. You know, a little bit of competition between the guilds, the clans. But at the same time, I think part of the problem is it really does come down to just how many people are left in Jawa and KR and things like that. Like maybe 5 years ago, yeah, they would have matches. I remember being in Jawa and they would meet up with Jawa or JOF or KR or somebody, and they would do like not CTF. I mean, I'm sure they did that a few times, but mostly it was Team FFA. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of fun, where you'll get to see people going against each other in some like full on whatever movie battles, I can't believe I'm recommending that. They're pretty active when it comes to that. But no, you're not going to see clans versus each other anymore. I wish it would end in one more final epic war just for some action, just for something. How would I put it? I'm tired of the false smiles. Many of us are. Many of us are tired of having to be nice and put on false smiles when we don't even like the douchebags. But because your higher-ups do, you just go along with it. Well, I will say this much about JA, and this is why I would honestly tell you I would not mess with JKA if I were going to play a Star Wars game, man. Go, shit. Let's see. SWTOR kind of sucks right now. It should be, maybe it'll be all right once you get the graphics update. JKA, we have lots of potential. It's like I said the other day, we have the potential to save the game. And this is actually something that people will agree with hands down. We have all the potential to save this game. We have the tech. We have the people. But egos will never shut the fuck up, work together, and actually get it done. That's why I spent the last 2 or 3 years trying to whisper in people's ear and trying to get moving and doing something. It doesn't work. They won't work together. Even the coders won't even put down... No. They just... None of them will stop. And it's because a lot of the issues end up being very, very serious and personal, and they never get dealt with. So... Alright, so Coach is doing his thing. Alright. Alright, so this is sort of where I left off the other night. The other day or whatever. Trying to figure out exactly what kind of layout I want for these little tables in here and things like that. I need to... I know this one's going to be really, actually won't take that long. It's going to be really, really adorable. And I'm also just like not looking forward to all the technicals that come with a outdoor tree map. It's such a pain in the ass. Oh, let me see. Where was it? Oh. But no, JKA is, okay, like I said, if I were going to recommend a Star Wars game, let's see, movie... Fuck, man. There's really not a Star Wars game that's not infested with this, like, bullshit politics, and I'm not even talking about like in real life politics, although it gets kind of nasty around those times as well. What I mean is you'll see a lot of clan or guild politics that how would I put this? This is something I noted when I was in Java. I saw worse politics than I was dealing with in real life. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And a lot of these clans and a lot of these guilds for any Star Wars game, the brilliant minds of Star Wars have left, and all we're left with is the degenerates. And they don't know how to run anything. And so when you're looking at like, a really good example is, why can't I remember the damn game? Battlefront 2. All right. Not really known for its heavy clan or guild activity, but there are cliques, there are groups, and there's a lot of politics. So if you want to get in, you can't really enjoy. You just really can't. You can't. It's sort of like shooting over to movie duels from normal JKA. It's just downright toxic. I'm gonna be real. I don't know what's up with the Star Wars fandom. Something happened where like all the smart, wise people ran away, and all we're left with is like 5% of us that are still kind of normal. And then the rest are DEI fucking weirdos or literally mentally ill folk. Like, white eyes, black eyes, whatever his name is. Why do we put up with this in the community? If we know somebody's a genuine schizophrenic, whatever, and like literally really has some problems, why are we putting up with this? Why are we allowing this in our community? This is Star Wars. Star Wars is supposed to be one of the best communities. Here's how you do that. How you keep that. You stop letting in the fucking morons and the just deficient, and you start calling. That's what Star Wars needs to do. It needs to have a great calling. All right. So this is going to be the back fireplace, a larger fireplace. That then is feeding up through this chimney. And then you have this kind of little peak here. This will actually end up being kind of like a closet space, kind of well, actually, I don't know really how that'll be. That might get removed. Not really necessary. But then you've got the fireplaces for the upstairs, because there's two of them, because there will actually be a wall here in between these. These will end up being kind of individual, almost like master bedrooms on this side. And this side will have, you know, two smaller bedrooms, you know, for like children or what, well, not actually children, but these are supposed to be, you know, like an inn. So two nicer rooms with a fireplace and two without a fireplace, you know. But these rooms are going to be nice and warm anyways, because they're more towards the inner structure. And right on the other side is, you know, again, more whatever. And then there'll be kind of a doorway here. I don't know if there'll be a doorway here. And I'm considering down at the end, kind of having like a little chill area. Or I could put that over here on this side. I don't know. Very Skyrim-y is kind of what I'm aiming for. And it's really, it starts off really ugly and primitive like this, but give me like a month's time and I'll be handing this over to Shadow and he's going to be like, holy shit. And you guys will get to kind of see this day by day every time I log in and show you guys what's going on. I might have to keep my kids away then. Yeah, the coders, they fight too. Oh, that's right. That's what's up. I am an idiot. I forgot about that. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out. There we go. Now you can actually see my desktop. But I was actually showing this, a little cabin thing I'm building. I keep calling it a cabin. It's an inn. Tavern of some type. Kind of medieval basis. Fantasy. Giant mushrooms. Giant, you know, beautiful pine trees. And kind of up in a mountain pass sort of deal. But 100%, no, like, I wouldn't let your children play JK. I know that sounds so fucked up, but I would not let any kid play JK nowadays. Purely because of the political situation in it. It's the same thing over in Battlefront. People are toxic. It's hard for me to say this because I want people to go play Star Wars games. I want to see this community do great, but they don't do good. It's not my fault that they react like animals. It's just not. It's not good. Ante, I'm pregnant. Deletus. Yo. Can't get pregnant in the back door, though. Oh, my God. Dear God. And before somebody takes all my words and, and totally warps them into something they're saying, I am not saying all JKA players, that all Star Wars players for every game are bad. I'd say 60% of us are fucking actually normal and fine. We do have like 40 to 50% that are DEI, Karens, mental fucking losers. You're just being real. We're not even talking about like, oh, you're a little autistic or something like that. Oh, no, that's dealable. I'm talking like every fucking server knows this dude. Yakuza. The dude is a literal fucking, like, he makes retards look bright. Comes in, doesn't ever respect a single rule until he's befriending the right person, and then he plays completely fucking this. And I'm so sick and tired of the damn mental games. Oh. I'll be real. Sometimes I really wish I were into a different IP. Something a little, just to have a break once in a while. Unfortunately, I think we're kind of a lot of us are in the same boat. We love our Star Wars. They've never really made us a new game that was anything like this. And here we are. Battlefront 1 didn't, whatever. Battlefront 2, goods. How popular is Battlefront 2? I love Star Wars and lightsaber fights. Hard to find a game with a good... Yeah, honestly, JK is going to be your best for lightsaber combat. You're never going to find anything like it, and that's the kind of ironic, sad part. Current population Battlefront 2. Steam charts is 723 players live currently. At a peak of 35. What? That's it? Peak it ever had at all time was 35,000. What? My God. Why do I keep seeing this reference to around 30 to 50,000 when it comes to Star Wars? I see this on YouTube. I see this on Reddit. I see... Whenever you see something go extremely popular or extremely good, it usually with Star Wars, it'd be around 30 to 50,000 good remarks, reviews, plays, whatever. It's always like the same number. And it used to be a lot higher, but it is like dwindled down. Here's a good example. Star Wars Theory. Used to be able to get hundreds of thousands of views on any Star Wars topic or video, for instance. But nowadays he can't crack 30 to 50K views, depending on the topic. If it's like strictly Star Wars, not anything to do with his series or whatnot. If it's just about Star Wars, that's about as good as you get. Even the one video I have that's still climbing, like over 140,000 views or whatever many it's at, that's taken 2 years to get there. Because there's just... Disney fucking destroyed the EA one. Yeah, sadly. The original classic Battlefront 1 and 2, I don't even think they're going anymore. I don't think anybody even plays those. But Star Wars is in such a state right now that here, hold on, like, oh my gosh, why go Star Wars theory? Now to explain, I have Star Wars theory like blocked on this crap. Like I do not like. I don't even let them recommend his shit to me because I think the dude is just kind of cringe. He used to be really cool, and then when like he flipped out on that kid like 5 or 6 years ago, he's been melting down ever since. But let's like look at this. All right, so okay. So he's doing a little bit better on certain things. Maul, I can understand that right now because a lot of people are paying attention to the Maul series. But if we look at a little bit further back, look at his views for a channel with. Oh my God, he's went way down. He was like 3.39 last year. Like he was just below 3.4. And he's went down. Jeez. Yeah, his view, he's not getting around 8. This is things to do with Maul, do okay. And don't get me wrong, he's still very much beloved by a lot of fans, but it's because a lot of people don't know what he's like really behind the scenes. I mean, you have to remember, this is a guy who got drunk in the middle of the fucking night, woke his ex up just to ask her, what do you think I'd feel like if I killed someone? And did a bunch of other creepy shit. Like, his personal life is a complete fucking wreck. And he's not a nice person. Again, I'm just going to leave it at had dealings that were very close, potential, whatever. And I noped out of the whole damn thing. Because of him, because of the people that were involved. Just, it really sucks. Because it was that moment like 2 years ago. But it just went a little further. The whole channel would have blown up. Everything would have been different. If I'd just kept going with what's his name, we would have had the actually, looking at it now, I'm very glad I distanced myself from that Dark Forces 2 series. Because now when I go and look at that, they departed so far from the original, like, actual story. It's completely fallen apart. Like, nobody cares about it. And again, with Star Wars in the dumps, it's just not helping. But what we do see here, to get it back to my main point, is, when you talk about the Star Wars stuff, we're seeing around 72,000. All right. And that's actually pretty good. But this still tells you, now this is Star Wars theory, the biggest Star Wars channel on the platform. And even on a hot topic, he can only bring in tops 75, and I'll even give him this one over here the other day. When it really was a good, whatever, he hit 88,000. But, okay, let's do this. Let's do a calculator, all right? Because this is where you actually have to start looking at. This is how we, as YouTubers, actually look at our channels. Compare them. All right, so let's look at. He has 3.29 million subs. 3,290,000. There we go. All right, and he's getting tops. Because we'll use the high medium, is it median or medium? I can never remember. So 88,000. Oh, crap. He actually got 99,000 on this one. Okay. All right. So we'll just give him 99,000. So let's divide it by 99,000. All right. Oh, wait, no, I remember how the frick to do this. My God, you're an idiot. 3,290,000. Yeah. Times. What the hell was it? Oh, yeah. 99. I have forgotten how to fucking figure out percentage. My God. 99,000. I've fucking forgotten how to math. Anyways, the point is that he's getting less and like, he's getting a very bad reaction. And this isn't dogging him. This is looking at the math. This is looking at the most successful channel out there when it comes to this topic and realizing that, look at this. Look, his other problem is he shows himself too much. Star Wars theory used to be about Star Wars theories. Now it's all about him. And this was the other problem with his channel where he kind of fell off and everything. Like, I really can't wait to see another Star Wars channel finally just surpass him. It's been long overdue. But the problem is that in the age of AI, nobody can definitely, we just can't keep up. We just can't. But this goes to show, as I was pointing out, that Star Wars is fucking dead. Like, as a topic, as an interest in the world, you've got like 8 billion people on Earth. And less than 100,000 gave a shit about anything to do with Star Wars on the most popular Star Wars channel with 3.29 million subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, the math says it all. In the last 3 years, this game has completely dived off on popularity. We went from like 2,000 to 4,000 players to now we're maybe 200 to 400. And the more Disney fucks up, the more they bury the IP, the worse it's getting. 5 minutes remain. There's a channel, hold on, The Real Life Fake Wizard. And this is a channel some of you really need to go check out. Nothing is original. Where is, because there's a video I actually want you to see and I actually want to discuss. Actually, I need to watch that one. Due to less fandom, too many, no more heroes. Now, if you haven't ever checked this guy out, please do. He's really awesome. He's really nice, good guy. Does a lot of great stuff. Been meaning to talk about him before, but go check this dude out. Really dope. But he talks about some things here that are very true. And I kind of want to talk about this and I kind of want to cover it and we'll just go from here.
Real life fake wizard. Did you know the most dangerous weapon in the entire world is a story? We perceive stories as entertainment, movies, television, video games, stories to pass the time. No. Stories are the most dangerous technology humanity has ever created. More dangerous than any weapon ever forged by human hands. Ooh. Yeah, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can do more damage than you could imagine. Every religion on this planet is a series of stories.
Right.
Every nation is founded on a story. The American Revolution was not started by muskets alone. It was started with pamphlets. Wars do not begin when the first...
We did really start with, well, yeah, I can see that, back in the day, yeah, starting with like, post here, a little handout here and there.
Shot is fired. You need to get...
Well, you guys watch some of this. I'm going to go roll smoke real quick. I'll be back in like 1 minute.
Get all the men to the front lines first, and to do that, those men need to believe something, whether good or bad for them. And wars don't end with treaties. Before the dust has settled and while the bodies are still warm, people are going to do what they were always going to do anyway. Sit down and tell stories about what peace might look like. Paul Lindbarger is widely considered the architect of modern psychological warfare for the United States military. He wrote the Army's official PSYOPs handbook. He was also, not coincidentally, a science fiction writer who held the belief that words, when properly deployed, are more powerful than bombs. But if we look back in time...
Oh, they are, 100%. Like... one good story can literally, but I think he kind of covers this, will change an entire generation. It'll take an entire generation of cynics and turn them into a generation of hopefuls and heroes and, people who speak out. I think that's probably been one of my biggest problems is we're in this world where the last thing they want you to do is to speak out. The last thing they want you to do is really think on your own. And I've noticed this even in small, like I said, small cliques in games and whatnot. You deal with worse politics and worse corruption in these places where you used to go and relax. almost on par, if not worse, than what you deal with in real life. And you know, and it's because I can't help but notice a correlation that as these things are destroyed, you know, or as he's going to cover, our heroes are destroyed, the legacy IPs are destroyed. Um, people are becoming more fucked up. Like they just are. Like people who used to try to hide their bullshit just don't hide their bullshit anymore.
Aristotle understood similar sentiments 2,400 years before Lynn Barger was born. In his book Poetics, Aristotle described drama and storytelling as a mechanism for moral education. When viewers and listeners and readers experience stories, they also experience catharsis, which is defined as an emotional purification that occurs.
Hold on, let me catch up on my chat real quick. Might have to keep my kids away. Showing something. Okay, they love Star Wars and lightsaber fights and finding. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Content. They think cater with people want or get lucky. Really, it's hard to watch a YouTuber who can only care about themselves. Yes, exactly. That is the biggest thing because I know what you're referring to with Star Wars theory. I know. Maybe you remember what I mean. What was it? 6-7 years ago. Remember he brought this kid on. Hold on. We're going to cover this eventually too. YouTube. All right. Because this is the kind of activity, Star Wars theory meltdown on kid. Let me see. Where was it? Yes, it was this one.
Yeah, some conflicting. I just interviewed Star Wars Only yesterday.
But we're gonna get to this because this ties into exactly what you're talking about and ties into, you know, what Fake Wizard is talking about here. It's the worst part is, unfortunately, Star Wars theory used to be a lot of people's hero. Like when it came to, you know, oh man, you could really do something on YouTube as a Star Wars fan. He used to really be people's hero. I even liked him back in the day. But I digress. Let's let Fake Wizard keep talking.
When an audience witnesses characters navigate virtue and vice. In Aristotle's philosophy, stories do not reflect the human condition. Stories shape the human condition. Stories are humanity's operating system. Change the stories, and you change the people. Where's my evidence? Look at all of human history. This has been documented, studied, and weaponized. And for the my entire life, and maybe yours too, people have been working tirelessly day and night to the tune of billions of dollars to systemically dismantle.
Oh, yeah. If you're not aware, like if you're not aware already, and I'll be talking about this on my other new channel. I've got another channel I'm starting up. By the way, please go check it out. The All Seeing Monkey. Hold on, let me bring this up. You know, I'll show you guys later. But I am starting a new channel where I'm going to talk about anything and everything. And this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. What he's going on about.
So the very stories that made people believe in something greater than themselves. And the most powerful apparatus for telling stories in human history happens to be the American entertainment industry. And it has very much been hijacked. Some say it's because of ideology, some say it's because of arrogance, some say it's accidental, it's incompetence that caused it. No, it goes further than that. That's all surface level. Whatever the motivations of humanity's adversary is, the truth is that they want you to lose your stories.
Oh yeah, because we're at a point, like I said, but I was trying to make a point of if you think every bit of your life is not already been designed, curated, that you are not being controlled with every little thing that's around you, you are a fucking fool. I mean, I say this not so rudely. I'm glad that you can live in that naivety and ignorance. But everything that has happened over the last 10, 15 years was on purpose. It has been done with the purpose of breaking us down. They need to break us down before they can mold us into what they want us to be. And it happens with things like what he's talking about, where they're destroying your legacy IPs, they're destroying your heroes. And as he will kind of talk about, when, you know, people used to say a little joke, you know, well, what would Jesus do? You know, well, a lot of times, a lot of us would be like, you know, what would my favorite character do? You know, like what would Qui-Gon do in this scenario? What would Luke do in this scenario? What would Anakin do in this scenario? Okay, maybe don't go with what would Anakin do. Don't do what Anakin would do. But you get my point. Like,
They have
We have no
sacrificed
heroes.
humility and responsibility for selfishness and ambiguity. There is no good, nor is there bad. They want you to silence your
Don't get me wrong. Ambiguous characters, as far as like good, evil, kind of mixed up, was nice once in a while. Like I loved, and this is gonna sound the gayest thing I've probably said all day. I absolutely loved Maleficent. I thought they both were fucking dope. I love that they took this character and totally spun it on its head and made you view things differently. Very good adaptation, a spin-off, very interesting. Was it perfect? Did it break some lore? Sure. But as a concept, I really did enjoy seeing that not all what is bad is exactly evil. You know, people can be like Severus Snape, a very confusing, mixed up character. He doesn't even really know who he is, but he knows, you know, some core things he's standing for.
conscience and dull your dignity. Life is not wonderful and not worth fighting for. To these monsters, existence is morally gray, and to take advantage of your...
Who the fuck is Ironheart? Like, I will agree, and he's said this many times, when it comes... Jean-Luc Picard, yes, hands down. You know, okay, this may sound so dumb. How many times I've sit there when I'm going through like a hard time in my life, and like he was my imaginary counselor. Like how he would like deal with it, how he would, what he would ask, how he would start looking at the problem. And this is what I'm talking about. Heroes are important. Heroes help you have a grounding frame of reference and point of view when you kind of don't trust your own. Okay, so my stepson, he comes from, you know, like me as a child, he came from kind of an abusive home. His stepdad, Joe, was a complete piece of shit. And if Joe, you ever see this, you're an abusive piece of shit. What are you going to do? But he deals with a lot of anger issues. And here he is about to have a son himself, and he's scared to death. He'll repeat the cycle. And we keep telling him that fear right there is more grounding and more of a reason to not ever go down that road than any of the people before him. You know, he can break the cycle. And I really believe he will. I know he will. But, you know, I've told him so many times, when you're getting really angry at your child and there's a lot of things going on, I want you to stop. And I want you to think, what would the awesome dad do? What would my hero do? You know, like whoever it was. You know what he said that was actually really sad? I don't have a hero. I don't have anybody, you know, even as far as like films or movies or shows that I really look up to. Fuck, no wonder you don't have any like guidance in life. Your stepfather was a piece of shit, and then all the men in TV shows are being emasculated and just
Your brothers and sisters is justified in a world without goodness. They killed your heroes, and they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Today's indie
President Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah, that would be crazy. I'd actually get somebody like him.
game shout out is Road War.
Yeah, we're not doing
Use
it.
the Greek
Indie.
word hex. You become is formed through QR code on your screen.
There
Now
you go.
back to the video. If we look back at
No offense, Wiz, but you know, I'm not here to advertise. I will never let advertisements be on my channel. This is the one promise I make any of you. Any of my channels ever like glow up, you will never see me do an advertisement. I will not accept any of that crap, nor will I ever. No. And that's nothing against Wiz or any of them, because again, I understand why he does it. I understand why many of them do it, but not me. I don't care about this system. I don't want this system. I don't want its money. It cannot bring back my mother. It cannot bring back any of the things that I miss. It cannot fix anything.
in time, we will find in Aristotle's Ethics, he made an argument that is both simple and devastating. Virtue is formed through habituation. You become what you practice. You become what you repeatedly do. And by extension, you become what you repeatedly consume. thoughts become things. Although Aristotle didn't use the word habit the way we use it today, like it's some passive, mindless routine, he used the Greek word hexis, which means an active condition, a state that must be deliberately held and maintained. Virtue is not something you achieve once and then put on a shelf like Elf on a shelf. It must be practiced day after day and choice after choice. And stories were the mechanism by which an entire civilization practiced its virtues together in Aristotle's age. And for us here today, that hasn't changed.
I'm not gonna make you guys watch all of this, but I wanted you guys to kind of catch that first 5 minutes, because everything he just said right there is very important. And this is sort of what's kind of going on in our world. We don't have any heroes anymore. Our IPs are fucking destroyed. Look at what the hell they're doing with Harry Potter. There's a rumor now that they may go with that one ugly ass chick for, yeah, it's whoa. Cash Jordan. Hold on. Let's see what the hell's going on in New York. Wait, what?
Just 2 weeks after New York City Mayor Mamdani formed his Office of Community Safety. You feel safe in New York?
No, I don't.
I don't.
If I feel roughly safe.
Outside the neighborhood, no, not at all.
Things are not looking too good for New York, which is experiencing types of crime nobody's ever seen before. All of it fueled by gangs and related violence, flooding our streets, taking over entire parts of the city, turning them into lawless no-go zones, even...
You know, seeing that dude dive into that one person's like back window to grab shit, that reminded me a lot of like your mail poachers. You know, you get a bunch of Amazon packages, and I'm sure everybody knows what I mean. Just the blatant audacity these people have, the way they just like walk up to your house and just take your shit. And then sometimes when they get caught, they'll act like they're absolutely in the right and that like they've done nothing wrong. I don't even know. I can't even think of the word off the top of my head for it, except for like baseball bat. That is what you want to do. You want to take a baseball bat to these people and just be like, you stupid fucking undisciplined idiot. You just need your fucking ass beat. You need the beating that you should have got from your daddy when he left to create some cigarettes and fucking milk. In which case, seeing how you are, I can't blame him for fucking leaving, because I'd have left you too.
Police are powerless to patrol. Yet, for some reason, none of our communist leaders have any plans to end this nightmare.
Yeah, this is a crazy thing, is that apparently, like, I didn't even know this was happening, but in New York, they've got a fucking, like, former communist leader or some crap like that. And he's trying to basically just start up a bunch of systems that do not work.
Man steps out of a white car. Theodore immediately puts his hands up, backing away as the car alarm blares.
The guy came and grabbed my phone from behind and ran.
So he stole your phone?
He stole my phone.
I almost got pushed inside the tracks. When the train was coming, I felt like I slightly pushed and I almost fell forward. That's the reason why I don't want to be in New York.
There are people on the streets that shouldn't be on the streets.
Though it has for years now been the city's intention to close the jail facility.
And this is because, I'm going to be real, I can't remember what channel it is. I always heard this, but I absolutely 100% agree. Bring back the fucking asylums. Like, the more that we like, okay, so let me put it this way. There's a few things that connect here. There's a growing movement right now for everyone to just like stop paying their taxes, to just strike. And I'm starting to think that might be the direction to go, because you keep taking our billions every year, which I'm just going to say it right now, why you deserve a quarter of everything I earn, that I work for, that anyone works for, this 20 to 25% that you take. What are you doing for us? Our roads are falling to shit. Our schools keep getting better. Our entire system is collapsing, and you just keep asking for more. Why should we pay you? Here's another thing. A system that will streamline taking your money, but then require you to turn to a third party that you have to pay to get your money back at the end of the year, is kind of fucked up. If you can automate taking it, you should be able to automate giving it back. We shouldn't have some monkey in the middle that we again have to hand over more of our money that we've already worked for oh. But it comes down to the money is not being put where it should. Where are the social programs? Where are the fucking asylums? Where is the bullshit for these nutty ass fucking obnoxious people? Like, it's just bad. You know what? Bring back hardship in prison. Bring back bullshit crazy asylums. Because you know what? For those who weren't in those, you were so scared of them, you would behave. Because when people don't believe in a God, you need to use fear to control them, sadly. Well, I don't really view either control mechanisms as completely appropriate. Y'all are fucking acting like a bunch of animals. All right? Not all, everyone, but like just the world out there. You have these people that are just fucking mentally ill and they need to be locked up.
Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso says there are steps the mayor can take right now to keep fewer people locked up.
We don't need to wait for the new jails to be built to move the elderly away from jail, to look for alternatives to incarceration.
Besides saying he had a gun, as you mentioned, that suspect refusing officers' commands to leave the bedroom where he was at after a minute and a half telling them it's not going to happen.
Do you think the elected officials like Mayor Mamdani are doing a good job?
No. Not really.
He said he was going to combat gun violence, and a lot of his critics were saying, well, we should combat gang violence.
Exactly. Gang violence.
Well, we should have buckled down on the gangs a long fucking time ago. Like, out there in California where you have the Bloods and the Crips, why are you putting up with this? I remember being in school, and I remember there being a gang war in our fucking, I don't even know what the hell you call it, our courtyard. Literally one side shooting actively at another side. All of us students getting down, hiding in the fucking library and crap. And you know what was messed up? The worst part about it was, it never got brought up on the news. Was never fucking mentioned. And I'm not the only one who has stories like that, where, oh, there will be events, and you'll never see them reported. Because they don't want you to realize, even in like your local areas, like, how bad shit really has been for a while, that the police don't have any control on any of this. It's sort of like when you're looking at these, these buildings full of, fake hospice and crap like that. These people who come into our country, or, or even some of them that are born here, that literally just, fuck you, I ain't following your rules. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to exploit the system. I'm going to exploit you. And I don't give a fuck, man. What are you going to do? You can't touch me. Because guess what? I weirdly got you wrapped up in some legal shit where you know exactly what I'm doing, but you can't touch me. This obnoxiousness in society, this venom, this mentally ill, unstable, it cannot continue. It just the whole thing cannot continue. And the gangs should have been wiped out a long time ago. Every single person, I don't care if it was your little Johnny or whatever, if you have joined a gang, you need to be rounded up and put into prison. If you have killed people, you need to be put to death. And send a solid fucking message to these gangs. Everything needs pushed back to the southern border. And you need to put up a fucking wall, because apparently nothing else is going to stop these fucking people. I don't even like the wall concept, but you got to do something, because the people coming over that border, the people coming in from this country, the people coming in from this country, from Russia and all these other little places, they're literally just coming in, overwhelming our police force, distracting them with shit they don't need to be dealing with, putting the people in danger, and just, it's bullshit. And that's the messed up part, is you can shut down immigration, and the only ones you'll stop are actually usually the good folk, like the people who would have come in through the normal process and whatnot. Not that that really matters, because a lot of times, hell, you have Russia and other countries infiltrating us under, as clergymen and bullshit like that, under different religious whatever. This should have been dealt with a long time ago.
So, right on schedule, the powers that be are telling us New York is the safest city it could possibly be. Look at that. But what nobody's talking about is public safety in New York. It's another one of those issues the voters here say they've got a massive problem with, but won't stop voting to maintain. Just like our housing market disaster with rents that now top $5,000 a month because we don't have a...
That's fucking ridiculous. I was talking to the wife about this, and we actually looked this one up to confirm it because we were like, "There's no fucking way $5,000 a month for a place smaller than ours, outdated as fuck." I'm sorry to tell you, folks. 7,000 was the middle. There were rents that were worse. Sorry, 5,000. There's a lot of what we looked up. We kept seeing about somewhere between 5, 7. There was even one that was like almost 10,000 a month, and it was nothing better than like what we have here. Oh, in the fuck is any normal family going to make 10 grand a month? It's no wonder mom and dad can't discipline their kid. They can't even spend time with them. They're working 24/7. And this is just, it's just a cascade of effect. I don't know exactly where it started. I would say somewhere around the 50s. Like, everybody deserved to have equal rights, but the job market didn't need flooded and hit the way it did. There's just been one domino effect after another as different things have happened culturally that have overloaded a system that wasn't made to support that kind of a setup, simple as that is. And that's why now you have $5,000 rents, $10,000 rents for places that are like maybe 1,200 square feet or less. How the fuck is anybody supposed to do this? Like, it's no wonder the holidays have died. It's... And if you think it's not all coordinated, that it's not all being done to you intentionally, okay, sweetie, whatever it takes for you to sleep at night.
Enough apartments, yet the voters here are so concerned with taxing and punishing millionaires and confiscating homes from landlords that the idea of
let's go back and look at that. Like,
$1 a month because we...
My wife and I's bathroom is small, but dude, it ain't that small. Like, look at this. You got your washer and dryer right there. You got your toilet. Okay. So he's kind of making a stupid point. Like, why the fuck would you be trying to open your dryer while you're sitting on your toilet? I don't know why I get his point, but it's stupid. Then you literally would have to like step in and slide through to get to your fucking sink over here. And then right over here, they wasted like this whole foot. Like, you should have moved this over a foot and put it next to the bathtub over here. You would have space over here and just a little bit more room for the washer and dryer kind of set up. Like, I don't know. You can tell this was never meant to be here. This has been crammed in here because landlords are fucking pieces of shit.
We don't have enough apartments, yet the voters here are so concerned with taxing and punishing millionaires and confiscating homes from landlords that the idea of solving our housing crisis by letting someone who might have the millions needed to build more apartments never comes up. And public safety is the same thing. We voted for a mayor who said they want to offload the work police do that keeps everybody here safe to some public safety department. Yet at the exact same time, voters are telling us how dangerous the streets are and how there's gangs everywhere and how they need to be protected while their children are chased down the streets and parks are taken over by hooligans. Yet for some reason, the idea of building more jails and filling them up with the violent isn't something here people are at all interested in, as they keep putting politicians into office that want to empty our jails and shut them down in the name of justice. And that brings us to the real reason public safety here isn't just trending in the wrong direction, it's about to fall off a cliff. We're half a decade from the start of the defund police movement, which saw America's sanctuary cities handicap their police while opening their jails to release as many criminals and illegal fugitives as humanly possible, all in the...
Could you talk about the Jedi Academy stuff? I'm more interested in mapping and gameplay. The politics stuff you were talking about seems a bit unresearched, random, hard to follow. Well, if you don't like it, don't watch. If I want to talk about Jedi Academy stuff, I will. If I want to talk about Star Trek, I will. If I want to talk about the news, I will. It's my channel. You don't like it, go make your own channel. Peace.
The name of fairness, a concept which makes no sense once you consider how unfair it is to the targets of the.
People are going to learn that the me you guys have seen up until this last year was not really me. I don't give a fuck. I really give no fucks. Don't care about your opinion. I don't care about your favoritism. I don't care to be your favorite. I don't even care to be liked by you.
These criminals to keep releasing them while these people.
Here's how little I care. I'm going to make where I can't see
rap sheets in many
comments.
cases. And you know what this does? This sends a message to every criminal and would-be criminal in town that there are no consequences.
It's like I'm sending a message to everybody who annoys me. I don't care. You're wasting your breath and time, not mine. You're just making yourself look like an idiot, not me.
Consequences for anything, and once criminals get that message, well, don't be surprised when your neighborhood turns into this.
Oh, why they running like that? Why they running like that? Why they running like that? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I did just pull it. Well, if you don't like it, yeah, well, that's how it is. Don't tell somebody what the. Let me just put it this way: don't tell somebody what the fuck they should and shouldn't talk about on their channel. Like, that's kind of crossing the line. Like, the way you put that was very autistic and very inappropriate. Like, that was downright absolutely rude. That's why you got rude back. Okay, because apparently that's the only thing you seem to understand. Just like apparently you don't understand politics.
What's going on? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Right.
Because I bet you're one of those people that actually views things as left or right. And those are the fucking idiots. The real way you got to look at the world is to pull back and look at all the countries at once and not be loyal to a party. This gets into what I talked about the other day with Creo. This is a little bit of Star Wars talk, kind of. We were talking about, you know, the old Jawa shit like that and whatever. And I just made an example. I said, all right, look, let's say somebody came to you, you know, with absolute, you know, video footage, just, you know, of something terrible that, you know, say your clan leader had done. And this, he is not. I was just using his example at the moment. And I said, so basically what you're saying is out of loyalty to him, you would not look at the evidence, just as you have not looked at the evidence in my situation because of your loyalty to this group. When you do stuff like that, you're compromised. You shouldn't even be in a power position. You have been compromised. Your opinion has been bought. You're not viewing things clearly. And this is, unfortunately, a lot of the problem that you see in the world today.
At any moment in this city, something crazy could happen. It's happening all around us, but it doesn't get any coverage.
But yeah, I don't really want to talk about this freaking New York situation anymore. I just got a dub. But oh shit, they're about to have more layoffs over at Disney. See, now this is relative to Star Wars because, I mean, fuck, they own it. For those of you who don't know, Clownfish, really great channel. Go check them out. This is the only channel I actually really kind of trust when it comes to like media, pop culture news.
All right, guys. So Disney is laying off 1,000 people, and we knew that. We knew they were going to be laying people off.
Well, before they even continue, here's the problem with Marvel. I liked everything all the way through Iron Man 3. And then after that, they started bringing in too many rando heroes. They started bringing in too many, they just started bringing in too much shit that, too many B-rated characters, C-rated characters that you just don't give a fuck about. And you have to watch all of this crap, Agatha all along, or whatever the fuck it is, just, you know, picking a title there. A character you don't give a fuck about. The show looks like absolute shit. The show is dog shit. But to understand this one detail of this thing happening in this movie, you're fucking sitting here in the movie theater watching. You have to have gone back and watched this dumbass show. It's like She-Hulk. That motherfucking monstrosity should have never happened.
But it turns out that a lot of those people are from Marvel, both on the Hollywood side and in the comic book side. Yes. So this is actually a re-recording. We actually did a version earlier before the news broke that a lot of the layoffs were at Marvel. We thought it was just the marketing department.
Well, that's what they said.
Mhm.
It was just getting
Right.
That's why I was like, and you know, they're doing studio and comics, which is really weird. But yeah, earlier the New York Post had this article about the bloodbath and
The bloodbath.
brutal email, and the email was not brutal.
It wasn't.
We're not going to read the whole thing again. Actually, you got the Pirates and Princesses. It's out there.
Yeah.
But he was very.
I'm going to say it hands down. This will probably be the most popular opinion I've ever stated, and the only one that a lot of people get along with. Disney, you suck. You used to be something great. Like back when I was a kid, you kind of had your hits and misses and things like that. You know, you always, whatever, that was fine. But you did great. You always kind of had steered with a clear vision. You knew where you wanted to go. You were about, at least on the surface, you seemed like you were about servicing the client, keeping the customers happy, creating things that they like. And you realize that by doing that, you made money. This last decade and a half, actually, I would say from the moment you bought Star Wars, there was a shift behind the scenes at Disney, at the whole thing. Then they bought up Marvel, or did they buy them up? About the same time. I don't remember when everything got bought, but you bought them up. You bought up Marvel. You bought this and that and everything else. You went on this huge spending spree, and then I don't understand what the fucking disconnect is. Let's use the Harry Potter HBO trailer as an example. Right now, it's been completely ratioed. Now, weirdly enough, all the dudes at the board, it seems like they're seeing or getting told about is, oh, well, so far it's had, over 500,000 interactions or over 500,000 interactions. And they're probably told, oh, a lot of them are good. It's like they're not going and looking themselves. And somebody else has brought this up. I don't remember what channel it was, but he talked about, if you think, so-and-so gives a fuck about Star Wars, it goes and checks on anything. You're right. They don't give a fuck about them. They don't go and look. And this is the problem with like your boards and your people making the decisions. They're not actually looking at the product. They're not looking at the product from like the on the ground civilian purchaser point of view. They're just seeing these metrics that they're getting fed. And I think this is the disconnect, because when it came to Star Wars, it was not that hard to make us happy with that. And you fucked that up somehow. So obviously you're not listening to the fans. It's been very obvious with all these different IPs that have been affected. Look at what Harry Potter's going through right now. The entire internet, it doesn't matter what side you're on, all of them are saying the same thing. Black, white, Chinese, Republican, Democrat, some dude over in China, some dude down in Mexico, some dude in Brazil, some gal over here, several gals over here, all the Karens are in the same boat. Why did you do this? Black Snake was a bad fucking idea. Now you're throwing out whispers that you might change Voldemort. I agree with what a lot of people are saying on that show, though. One last little tidbit. It'll probably do great its first season, like the first few episodes, and then it's just going to keep pittering off. The more changes are revealed, the more modern it is, the more you're going to just watch your views drop. It'll be terrible.
Polite. Basically, we appreciate all the work you've done. We sometimes have to change direction for the company's sake. This is all restructuring and stuff under Iger before he left. But it was very polite email, actually. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't mean. It was very polite.
Yeah, so we actually went through that before. It does suck for people. We went through that before, and we were kind of talking about, how you have to be the bad guy sometimes at companies, right? You do. That's just, it goes with the territory. But anyway, since we did the original version that is now not going to get posted at all, the news has come out that Marvel has seen a lot of layoffs, and that surprised me.
Yeah, that I was not expecting.
No, I mean, I can understand why Marvel's getting a lot of layoffs. They've done nothing good in probably the last 7 years. The only things that were good were things that were being like kind of, how do you put it, more independently led, say like Deadpool 3, things like that. The only things that did good were when like the people involved with it stood up and said, no, you're not going to fucking change it. It's going to be this way. It's going to be the way that the fans are used to. what they like, what we find funny, even like the people in the acting of it, or like what we find funny, not what your stupid writer who's been hiding in his fucking grandma's basement for 40 years came up with.
Especially when it's because they were talking like a lot of it was dealing with the marketing restructuring. So it's supposed to be marketing departments were supposed to be most of the issues, redundancies. But they're using this opportunity to get rid of people at Marvel, which I was like, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, so I read through the article and who they're getting rid of. Well, on the studio side, they said that 8 to 10%, I guess, of their staff total. What they're going to do is outsource outside of LA probably, and 2 are using AI, which is also cheaper.
Well, that's faster too. If you can outsource.
Oh, hey, what's up, Dash?
Doing it all in house, you can get a lot more done quickly.
Oh.
So let's go out to deadline. Marvel undergoes layoffs amid company-wide Disney cuts. Marvel
cut more on the comics end.
Well, I was surprised the comics are getting cut too, and we'll talk about that. I had a whole nother thought process about where Marvel Comics is right now, and of course, we've got Rich Johnson out there trying to be like, well, it has nothing to do with woke or stale. It just happens. I'm like, no. I think the day of reckoning is coming pretty soon for Marvel as a comics public.
And it's Marvel that's getting starting its day of reckoning. We've already seen Pixar kind of get a lot of cuts, a lot of things going on. Everywhere that didn't perform good over this last 10 years, of course, you're seeing a reduction because they literally don't have the money to throw at it. Disney is, I'm not going to say they're anywhere near bankrupt, but I definitely feel like they've been hurt by this last 10 years. A lot of the things I think they looked at Star Wars, for instance, like even The Force Awakens. I think they honestly, and I think a lot of us expected it should have done better. All right, let me just put some math out there for you. All right. Star Wars was the one fucking thing that was right up there with Michael Jackson. Okay. If you go anywhere in the world and you just say the name Michael Jackson and you start talking about Michael Jackson, some little Indian dude would be like, oh, yes, I know Michael Jackson. It was the same with Star Wars. You went down to Brazil and you were like, I like Star Wars. Some dude from across the border would be like, hey, I like Star Wars too. And it was the only IP. It was like up there like that. And like next was sort of like, as far as oomph and power, a subtle and calm one. I would say it was probably Lord of the Rings, Star Trek. There's like these 10 that kind of struggle for the top. You got Harry Potter in there, which was a more modern, more new one. But you end up with this problem of all these companies did really bad this last decade and a half. Everybody has grown fed up with the agenda. We've grown tired of we've gotten tired of the routine. We've all said it before. All these channels have said it before. You make a product, you don't listen to us. You don't even it's not even about so much listening to your whatever, but like going with what actually works for the IP. Bring in some fucking nerds who know and love this thing, like some normies, and it'd be like, no, don't do that. Oh yeah, this is cool. Okay, and then play with it more this way. When you don't make products that people love, no one's going to come see your shit, dude. And like I said, I think they expected Star Wars to do better. I think they expected it to do like more than just the 2 billion. What was it? I think it got close to 2 billion. Force Awakens sales, opening weekend. Ah, crap. I can't even type. Jeez, I can't even spell. God. Okay. So it opened at 240 million. All right. 248 million. And then grossed over 2.2 billion. Again, like I said, you have these IPs that really should have done more, because if you look at like I said, the math of it, you're on a planet with 7-8 billion people, maybe 6 billion on the low end if China's been lying like we think they are. All right. So it's 6 to 8 billion people. Ticket sales are like fucking $12 or more, even at the time. Like, so let's just say let's just go with $10 minimum. You should have made more money, because this was a product that was literally right up there with Michael Jackson. If that makes sense. Like, Star Wars was a worldwide phenomenon. And this told a lot of us, or tells me, you had already screwed it up before it ever even hit theater. It did well. And then they just kept dropping off even more and more and more after that. But like I said, you have the same pattern over and over where they create a product, they don't listen to the fans, the product fails or doesn't meet expectations, and they turn to us and say, bigots, phobes, ists. But it's the majority of people not liking your product. Like, all Star Wars has left now is like 30 to maybe 60,000 solid fan base. And I kind of gauge this by looking at interaction, like on Star Wars Theories channel, on Reddit posts, on like different things, even on, like the official LucasArts this and that. You see kind of like the same number, like the same like 30 to 50, 60,000 interaction. That's not good. All right. There was a time back in the early 2000s, if something really good in Star Wars got posted, its views would have been in the millions. It would have been ridiculously high, maybe even getting close to 1 billion very quickly. Just, oh, I don't know.
Publisher, because they don't make sense in the Disney.
Well, that's why I'm surprised they didn't take more out of the comics than they. I'm surprised. Anyway,
just wait. Anyway, they said Marvel has been impacted.
No.
By layoffs. Again, this is coming.
You're absolutely right, Jack's Brim, dude. Just gonna go with call you Brim. Prime. We're just gonna call you Dune. All right, there we go. There was no roadmap for the sequels other than to just let's make more movies and bring back as many iconic characters as possible. Well, the only other goal I think they really had on paper was, we need you to create a new heroine and hand off the torch so that we can make more movies after that. I 100% believe they intended to make more movies after this. Now, where they probably could have got us and actually kept a lot of interest, you should have went with the Dark Ray option. Like, you should have looked at it and, yeah, give me a Kyle Katarn movie for fucking real. Like, I would absolutely love that. And it's kind of sad because, like I was saying, there's one fan production out there that's kind of creating a series, and it's involved with Mike Starwalker and Theory behind the scenes, and Nate, the dude I used to work with on this channel and shit like that. But they've mixed in a lot of stupid shit. They've alt-versed a lot of things. And I tried to explain that back to Nate back in the day. Fans don't want that. Fans don't want alternate universe. They don't want alternate universe Rey. They don't want Rey at all. They don't want anything that had to do with what Disney created. That is the hard resistance you are facing. You are facing a client, a customer that is so sour to the taste of a character, of a concept, that as soon as we see certain things, I instantly am noping out. I instantly am going, no, I will never watch this. I will never play this. I will look at it, passively. I'll listen to other people's opinion on this. I'll get the kind of the gist of what's going on. But I'm not giving them my money. It's just like, for instance, when Mandalorian Grogu comes out, I will not go see it. And this is sad because, within this year, I'm going to have a grandkid. And I'm looking at it going, man, the way things are going, there probably won't be any more Star Wars in theater for a very long time. And B, when they do, if they keep going down this road with the material, I wouldn't want to take my grandkid to see this. Any of my grandkids, I would just be like, no, never mind. We don't talk about Star Wars. But Rey had the worst writing I've seen. That's why she was so OP and God modded. Yeah, she really was. She really, really fucking was. Here's a scene. All right. Rey lifts rocks. There's something I want to point out about this scene. Now, I want you to remember one thing, because there's another line. YouTube. Let's go here, because these two lines, these two scenes heavily interact, and I want you to understand the connection. Yoda. That is why you fail. Hold on. All right. Now you need to listen very keenly to what Luke says here. Oh, I'm going to make sure this is turned up. Whatever.
I don't believe it.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again, because this is so important.
I don't believe it.
And what does Yoda say?
That is why you fail.
Okay. Now let's go watch this scene right here. Somebody with no training in any of this. Anybody who knows their Star Wars lore knows, like, it takes a lot of work to levitate a stone like that. To do that. To do what she just did would take, like, Grandmaster Yoda sitting in the middle levitating. Or not levitating, but meditating and, like, hardcore concentrating to do something of that effect. Yet maybe Anakin or something could, like, repulse, out of a reflex, an explosion of energy. But what you just did, and I want to really, really look at this face. This is not a face of I know what I'm doing, that I believe I know what I'm doing. This is a face of, oh my God, holy crap. It actually worked. Therefore, what she done should not have worked. She doesn't even know she can do this. She doesn't even believe she can do this. And yet she just broke the fundamental fucking rules of the Force, which is you have to slowly build the belief in not just yourself, but in the Force that you can do this. Okay. This is why these movies fucking suck. Now, okay, so something I want to do, we're going to jump back, because this is Star Wars stuff. I was talking earlier about Star Wars theory, why a lot of people don't like him. And it started here. While you can agree a lot with what he said, because I just said something similar earlier. If you don't like what's on my fucking channel, fuck off. But we're going to break this down, because this little kid here, this Levi Bond, I actually want to see, does he still have a Levi Bond? Let's see, does it have a specific YouTube name? All new something? Oh, I'm really curious. I'm going to have to, find this dude's YouTube, see if he still is up. To give you some context, before we watch this, this is years. Jesus, fucking fly won't stop fucking landing on me. Like, aggressive. All right, so this is, I want to say, like 4 or 5, 6 years ago, somewhere around there. And this is sort of theory at peak. This is just before he really starts diving off into unpopularity. And I would dare say it was this moment right here that fucking was a catalyst, because this is when we saw the true him. First off, you can tell his face is uncomfortable in this situation. And there's something else I want to point out. He brings in this kid, Levi Bond. Now, this kid had a smaller channel, whatever. I'm going to guess he was a little bit more on the pro, 7, 8, and 9 kind of side from, the conversation that goes on in this whole thing. All right. And then you have all these people up here, which this bitch right here thinks she's so important just because she played Padme in the fucking videos. And sweetie, you don't really look like Padme. You just got the role, okay? You didn't really look the role. Nobody really... And it's sort of the way you've been on your YouTube channel. Again, kind of a little cringe. You're one of those chicks. It's all about your looks, and it's weird. Josh is just a fucking piece of shit asshole, as we know nowadays. Sheev the Wise, he fell the fuck off. He's not even around anymore. Some shit came out about him with some little ones that we won't get into. They haven't ever been seen again. I don't know or who give a fuck who you are. This guy is still making content. This dude, I don't fucking know. But Levi Bond was a new he was brought in this day on the channel. And watch what happens.
And he was a great guy. And I'm really trying to show with like my efforts, like that we as fans can all talk to each other and we all have a shared passion of Star Wars. And that, like, if we think the fandom is broken, it's up to us.
Now, I want you to, what would they pay attention to everybody's mannerisms beforehand. They're all shaking their head, agreeing with this kid, smiling. And this kid is essentially saying that, yes, we can be fans. You know, I'm a fan of the sequels. You're not, but we can still sit down as Star Wars fans and have a discussion and, you know, whatever. We're just Star Wars fans. I like the old stuff too. I just happen to like some of the newer stuff that you don't like. And that's okay.
Fans to fix
now,
it.
to understand, I fucking hate the sequels, but I will defend to the end of life somebody's right to enjoy them.
And, you know, like personally, I've had some problems with, you know, the way your channel is now. I have no problems with you. I'm sure you're a great guy. It's like, it's sort of the same.
And that's fair to say. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know, I really don't like the direction your channel's kind of gone lately, you know, whatever. And, you know, I don't mean that nothing against you. It just, you know, your content's going a certain way and it, you know, not my real thing again, but we also have a divergence where I'm pro and you're against, you know, the certain things, but that's, you know, whatever. That's all he's trying to say.
Same thing with,
You talking
like
about
I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired.
you got problems with my channel?
Yeah, a little bit, you know. I mean, I've been watching.
Oh, okay. Okay, so what's
So there's theory. He shows that he wasn't really paying attention to what the hell the kid was saying. He's like, wait, me? He only pays attention when suddenly something is about him. And he instantly puts this kid on this back foot where he has to say, yeah, you. And it kind of sounds like he's being aggressive, but he's not. He's just trying to clarify. I think The Last Jedi was complete shit. Yeah. You know what? Weirdly enough, Force Awakens, I would give it this. I would give it 5 out of 10. It had potential. Wasn't the best. Wasn't the best. Was not the best. I really was like, oh my God, why did you just kill Han that way? You know, although I kind of understand it, you know, whatever. In a weird way, I remember arguing with that scene, and so many of us, I still to this day, I think Han pushed the button. I think he helped. I think he literally put his thumb over his son's thumb and pushed the button. And the idea was self-sacrifice. I want you to look. He got close as he could to him, put the saber right up to him and said, do it. Because I know you and this will freaking break you. He did the one like thing that he knew would absolutely break his son if he was still inside there somewhere. And if that didn't work, nothing was going to work. You know, it's the only part of that where I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. I don't like Han's death. I don't like that he died, but I do like sort of, at least they tried to make it a little layered, a little metaphorical. But anyways, getting back to this, let's watch this. But again, watch everybody's body language and watch how this is the exact same thing crap you see over in Jawa. One person will say something and they'll all fucking swarm. Or they'll all just suddenly go quiet and don't do anything.
So what's the problem?
Look at her bitch ass face like, ooh, how dare you call him out? Yeah, that says everything about your ego right there, sweetheart. He's smiling like, okay, good. Somebody's finally saying it. They're laughing like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And you will see Sheev actually try to keep the peace.
You know, I think.
What's the problem?
I just think we have a weird perception on, like, you as the biggest creator in this space. I think there is a different set of responsibilities. Like, I really am on your side with, like, as you should be your own person. But it's sort of the same thing with, you know, I'm not going to get overtly political, but like with the president of the United States, like
And I understand what you mean. He definitely flipped and flopped between pro Disney against Disney, which was fine, you know, because a lot of the fans started out very hopeful when the movies were coming along. You know, we all held out our hope that it was all going to turn around. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it is fair to say that at that point in time, he actually was very close to maybe breaking into the Disney rinks. However, and this is the sad truth, they looked at him and went, "You're just a normie with a YouTube channel. You're nothing." And they treated him like complete trash, as we saw. And he didn't agree with everything that Disney did. And this became a problem between him and them because he wasn't willing to be a 100% shill, but he kind of wanted that contract and kind of wanted the perks. And we've seen it. And it's that moments like that and moments like this. Yes, he's very much ego type. Now, don't get me wrong. I got ego too, especially when it comes to my mapping and crap like that. But I would say, Theory, you've only got like 6 to 9 years of doing your YouTube channel. I've got like 25 plus years at my craft. So there's a little bit of a difference as to, earned ego and whatnot. But yeah.
The Constitution, there's
something to be said about people who go look up some psychology. People who do, they think instantly with their primitive brain. They think anger. Right now, his emotions are fucking flying and he is not thinking. And he's about to say some shit that it's haunted him to this day.
A line called for high crimes and misdemeanors. And the high isn't for the severity of the crime, but the level of the office. And you being the biggest Star Wars creator, I think you do have a different set of responsibilities. And I would never.
And I would, what the kid is saying is, you are the biggest Star Wars channel out there, and so therefore you because you chose to go for this. And again, this is very key. Theory. Remember this, just in case he ever fucking sees this. I forget what his real name is. Shit, it's been too long since I've talked with all that whole group and everything. But anyways, Theory, like you if you're going to go and try to aim to be the biggest boy, there are responsibilities that come with it. And this is exactly what this kid is pointing out. If you are going to be this massive content creator, you owe then your fans, because you were doing theories that are based on the actual fundamentals of the actual lore. You therefore owe your fans Star Wars theories, and you owe them that when you make these Star Wars series, you do them yourself, not ghostwriters, not ghost researchers, not AI, not all this other crap. No, you do it yourself the way you originally built your channel, on your own hard work, your own sweat of your own brow. And you make sure that you give them like the most accurate you can, the authenticity, do your research and all that. And now that we understand, and here's something that's sad, is those first 4 years of Star Wars theory, we now understand were a complete farce. I want to know who was actually writing this material even then, because now we know he never even read the EU books until just this last year. He never had researched many of these different topics that he claimed to be so knowledgeable about. He had not even looked into them. He didn't even know the names involved. It's when you are that big of a channel, and this kid is absolutely right, you are setting the pace. You do hold a responsibility. You are the example. You chose to be this. Suck it up.
I never want you to feel like you're censoring yourself because you do have to be true to yourself. But I always use the example, like you were talking about with Jay. I don't know.
It's sort of like the concept of any celebrity nowadays. We don't want to hear their political opinions. We don't really give a fuck about that. You need to actually just be like a neutral whatever and always be a light of positivity to keep your personal life and real life. Your best bet as a celebrity, even a YouTube celebrity, keep your shit to yourself.
I don't know why there's a stigma on using the word I so much. And like when you express your opinions, like using I, and just like when you say, I hate The Last Jedi or The Last Jedi is trash, those are two very different statements. If you say I, that's your opinion. We can have a conversation. If you say something like a fact, then it comes across in a different way. And like me.
No, that is the only part where I will disagree with the kid is, well, sorry, man, but there is just the fact that The Last Jedi was just trash. But you know what? Whatever. Cool. Again, I'll defend your right to appreciate it and enjoy it. Whatever.
As someone who like really loves all of Star Wars too, when you're making certain implications about the way these films were created and imply that I don't know Star Wars because this isn't what Star Wars is, like.
The truth is that Theory doesn't know Star Wars.
I love Star Wars. Like
the guy goes on about how he knows a lot of behind the scenes shit, but there's been like so many things he's been wrong about, even on that. The guy's a fraud. Simple as that. He's somebody who likes Star Wars. I don't know how exactly he got into this, but the dude's a fraud. He's a fucking fraud.
So many books and so many comics, and I love every single.
Yeah. This is a good point. Look at this kid. He's got all the books. Again, go and do your research on this yourself. But again, you're about to see a very dirty side of him. But here's a good, solid point. Look at all these books and look at the posters and look at what this kid has. I mean, he has literally the shelves of books. This dude reads his material. Have you ever seen any books behind Theory? What is he always showing off? He's showing off things that are flexes, that are, look what I have. I mean, kind of like I do. I mean, I can't say much on that. I mean, I got fucking Darth Vader in the corner and, whatever. But then again, it's very hard to find the old EU books. I have them all on my computer, and that's where I read them. I read all the comics and books on there. But anyways.
Trilogy. And sometimes it's just like hard to listen to. And I want to love your content and I want to engage with the community, but sometimes I feel like I'm being ostracized or put out.
Speaking of his community, I know I keep interrupting. His community, his Star Wars Theory Discord is a complete fucking shit show. They had to shut down the very first one that he ever had because it became an absolute shit show. Now his second one is the newer one, which is again absolutely chaos. Most of the people in there don't even like him. Like if you actually spark something where people actually start, genuinely expressing, whatever, you'll realize that like most people do not like him. Here's a good example. Back when I was trying out, for different voices and whatnot, I had made it really in with a lot of his admins. They really liked my work. A lot of them were familiar with different things I had done, crap like that. And they legit, like his admins were going out of their way. Like, dude, you actually need to look at this one. Like this one, you need to actually listen to this guy's voice clip and shit like that. And so one day he's actually in there during the channel. And like, I would give Theory this. Back when I was rising up, he actually did acknowledge me. And what I did find funny was when Dash brought me up on his YouTube channel, how Theory went on about, yeah, I know who he is. No, you don't. You ain't got a fucking clue who I am, dude. You've never spoken to me directly. You have no clue who I am. Don't know. And he did this with what is in your room? Is your favorite Star Wars thing? Oh, hold on. I have to decide real quick which has been my favorite thing, honestly. Okay, this is gonna sound really nerdy, but honestly, it's probably my Vader helmet. Hold on, I'll grab it. So, side tangent, real quick. This is a one of a kind. There is no other like it in the world. This was made by a creator called Mike O'Neill, a 3D printer and all that kind of stuff. And it was his only 3D print. From this one, he made molds, and that's how he makes the rest of his line. This was the grandfather of his entire line. It is an A New Hope helmet. At the time, I don't know if it still is, it was the first 3D printed, approved 501st A New Hope helmet ever. I don't know if it's still the only one, but it's a little dusty right now. But this is my favorite piece. Like putting this on sometimes, like I fucking love it. So anyways, getting back to what I was talking about. Thank you, man. And again, that's not like flex. Like, dude, this took me a long time to get together. It was 5 years to gather this entire costume, not because I couldn't find the parts. Finances, I'm just a poor dude, at the time, working, freaking job to job, whatever. So it was a lot of work to get that. And then the rest of the helmets are like Black Series and things like that, different series of helmets that I'm slowly buying and keeping one of. Like I even want to get a hold of one of the rubies and just keep one preserved and put away. But anyways, getting back to what I was talking about. So this kid Levi, absolutely right so far. Again, I point out, the kid is eloquent. And then you just watch how barbaric Theory goes. He goes total primitive brain.
Out because of the way you phrase things. And it really,
I do think this part's being a little nitpicky on like the way he phrased shit, but I do get what he's kind of saying. Like, yeah, I mean, again, Last Jedi did suck, but maybe watch your wording when you're talking to somebody else who is a fan. You don't have to be so slanderous, I guess, on things.
Because I know you're a prequel guy. This war represents a failure to listen, man. And I think your perception determines reality. And I think, you know, what's in that dark cave, only what you take with you. And I think we got to live our lives, you know, by these quotes a lot of the times, you know, from Star Wars. And when we communicate with each other, some of these things, I think.
Look at her look. If you watch her facial expressions, you can tell she is a manipulative shit. Like, she's sitting there just like reading through everything, seeing how things are going to play out, whatever. You got him just kind of just sitting back, chilling, like, yeah, okay, yeah. You got him kind of more and more ramping up, like, oh, whatever. And this dude down here, he's probably my favorite throughout the entire thing. His facial expressions, and then hers, man, you just look like a hoe. What Star Wars book should I? Oh, if you're honestly looking for like just any, are you looking for just like any random Star Wars book, one that can stand by itself, or are you wanting like a kickoff point?
I think we can get along as a fandom, and it's just up to us. I think, you know, Star Wars is all about a choice to be better. You know, that Luke Skywalker quote to Del Meeko, Battlefront 2, a choice to be better, and that's what it's all about. And I think we all should be more Qui-Gon and less Anakin. You know, I think
so. By me having an opinion,
see right here, that says something about his psychology right there. He did not even take the time to think. He instantly is breaking eye contact. He is instantly taking control and instantly turning the narrative. Just watch.
And I'm not upholding my due diligence or responsibility.
Oh, the best lore. Okay, the Bane trilogy, hands down. If you're looking for lore and a really fun ride, especially that first book, the Bane trilogy is absolutely incredible. Now, if you're looking for one that feels like 3 books in one and is absolutely phenomenal and is my all-time favorite Star Wars book, I really don't know why, but it just is. I, Jedi. Hold on, I will even look it up for you. I, Jedi. It was a Star Wars novel by Michael A. Stockpole, published in 1998, that follows Rogue Squadron pilot Corran Horn as he develops his latent force abilities to rescue his missing wife. Missing wife, Mirix, leading him to train at Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy on Yavin and confront a powerful enemy. The book is notable for being told from the first-person perspective of a non-movie character, and his details look and God, I can't even talk. And for his detailed look at Jedi training, I can't talk. I give up. You have no idea how many takes I take when it comes to my voice rolls sometimes. Don't ever try to have me say orbital bombardment at a fast pace. Paralleling. Why can I not say that word? Paralleling events in the Jedi Academy trilogy. Absolutely great book. Yeah, this is a great place to start. Like,
having an opinion, I'm not upholding my due diligence or responsibility.
No, it's the way we express it.
Oh yeah. Knows how she tightens, she backs away. Yeah, you can tell she wants all over that dick.
I think we can have conversations. Right. Like I totally respect your opinion that you don't like some of the stuff that I like, but it's all about, for me, the way we talk about it.
You're essentially telling me.
And you know what? This kid is absolutely right, because he watched this. This kid has so far been stating his opinions. Would you not agree? While they are a little spicy, he's been speaking eloquently. He's been polite. He has not been on the attack. He's been trying to make sure that he gets his point across, but without being a dick. Now watch how Theory handles this. This is not how a leader or anybody who has a channel that big should be acting.
Me to censor myself. You're saying don't censor yourself, but you're saying censor yourself because you have a certain moral obligation because you have a certain number of people.
What he's saying, nigga, is you got to learn how to communicate.
People to subscribe to your videos, that you have to say things in a certain manner or shift your way in a certain way of thinking that aligns with everybody, so you're all inclusive. I don't like The Last Jedi. I don't have to.
No. I'm going to stop right there. I understand where he's coming from. You know, I shouldn't have to change, the way I talk or whatever. Like, For instance, if somebody came on my live stream right here and was like, "Oh, I don't like the way you're talking about theories and shit," well, depending on how they do this and what their point is, I may or not apologize. I may change my wording a little bit because I don't want to upset somebody or whatever. I'm not trying to be a dick and attack people. But what he's saying, when you are a content creator and you're creating a material, maybe you should be a little bit more diplomatic with your the way you speak. The more neutral you are, you can still get your point across without burning a bridge either way. That's true mastery.
To feel I have to tailor what I have to say in order to make you feel better about liking it or not liking it. If you come to my channel, you get real, and that's what you will always get. You're not going to get me saying, "Oh, this is a film that has some No, I don't like the movie. I am free to say what I like to say, and I don't feel I have to uphold some certain.
Okay, and this is where he's being a fucking idiot, because he's taking what the kid's saying is that he can't say that he doesn't like The Last Jedi, and he literally just pointed out to me, he's like, I don't mind it when you say I don't like The Last Jedi. But when you sit there and say that The Last Jedi is just trash and you instantly dogpile on anyone who does like it, for instance, you are showing your maturity level. Like, and he's absolutely right about that. He is absolutely right. Either side that would do that, no matter what, whatever. Now, is theory justified to have a crash out? And no, not in this situation. And I want to state for the record, I have nothing against somebody like getting pissed off and telling somebody off, but you need to actually be right. Like, if you're not right about what you're saying, then get out of here with your attitude.
Belief or political system. I'm not American. I don't give a shit about American politics. I'm Canadian. I don't have to believe in this sort of office rule that I've never heard about before because I don't care. I'm a Star Wars fan. If I don't like a movie, I'm going to tell my fans straight up, I don't like a movie. If you can't discern the fact
and see, it's used to not being able to discern linguistics or language in general. The kid literally said, as I just said a moment ago, you can say and tell your fans you don't like something. You just don't create a blanket statement. That was a only slightly offensive thing, and that's the thing that you're like just bombarding.
The difference between I think this movie is shit versus this movie is shit as fact or not fact.
Now, something else to keep in mind, this was this kid's big chance. This was like his first time on this channel. He got brought in. He was a new guy. This kid went into this hoping this probably would all go well. This would have been like a huge kickoff for his channel. Instead, he gets embarrassed by Star Wars theory. And it gets worse, because I'm going to show you another video where the next day, after all this crap you're going to see, he brings a kid on, I think it was like a day or two later, and he makes the kid apologize to him. The fucking audacity is
irrelevant. Fact is
like just the overall manipulator, abusive attitude of it all is fucking crazy. This right here shows me that everything Nate and others told me about him before, I was going to go meet him and, do all that shit was absolutely fucking right. And then like, what Crit told me about, some other shit. Absolutely fucking right. Crit is another one that theory likes to say, oh yeah, I know him. I like him. He's never even fucking whatever. In fact, he's kind of shit on him.
Is something that is a bias to you and me. Your facts are different than my facts. So for you to come here and out of the blue and start saying that you all of a sudden have problems with my channel and then go on to a tangent about things that you don't like about my channel. I had someone invite you on here and all of a sudden you start saying that you have a problem with my channel. And I asked you what the problem is. And you start giving me all these different quotes and things like that about Star Wars. How we need to be more like Qui-Gon Jinn. And it's like, no, I'm not Anakin. I'm not Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm a Star Wars.
Apparently, all you are is ego and temper. Pure frontal cortex.
Fan. I'm a guy who has his opinions, and I don't have to tailor what I say in a way that you like or don't like. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. It is very simple. I'm not creating a certain divide. I don't have any certain sort of mandate here to put people in a box or not.
Nate was okay. Fuck. I'm trying to remember what he called himself now. I forgot what he renamed his channel to after we separated, or kind of not. You know, when we separated, we went our different way with the business. fuck. It's kind of hard to explain. He works with Mike Starwalker and Theory and all them, and he is the Kyle Katarn actor for their Dark Forces 2 series. Which, like I was saying, is like all Ultraverse, and just it was another reason I decided I didn't want that shit on my channel, and it was not the kind of content that I actually wanted to bring to my fans. I'd rather bring nothing than to be tied to that. Like, no, it's sort of like a hindsight being attached to, the Force Awakens or something like that. It's one of those things you're just like, I'm glad I'm not. Especially when you get into the fact that, like, it was a couple years ago when that was all going on, we were supposed to go down wherever the fuck it was. We were supposed to help Theory with one of his conventions or whatnot. And this is kind of when I ended up talking to some other people, and I ended up finding exactly, what Theory was like. I kind of just, look, there's been a couple things that have kind of, I'm just going to mention this briefly, that have kind of stopped this channel's momentum. One was the AI. That was sort of the secondary reason. AI, we literally just can't compete lore video wise. Like, they make it better, quicker. It's till they get a hold on them. Most channels out there are just nah. Again. But the other thing that really has kind of killed the momentum on this channel is just, I hit a point where I was about to break through, and I realized how much I was going to have to compromise of myself, how much I was going to have to change, how much, like, here's a good example. When I was working with Nate, 2 days before we dropped the Saber Comp video, he is saying, "Oh man, I really hope, freaking, oh God, what is that? When fake news Kyle Katarn doesn't, latch on or something like that. I hope he doesn't do a review." We were kind of laughing about it. We don't fucking like the dude, don't like his channel and all that kind of crap. He's a total shill. We drop our video. One of the first to jump on it was fake news Kyle Katarn. And I watched Nate go totally shift. I watched him suddenly be all, "Oh, this is great, blah, blah, blah," and totally, start trying to reach out and do different things. And I'm like, I will not have my channel connected or associated with that dude. And there were other things where I would try to make posts or I would try to do a video, and Nate was telling me to make changes on my own fucking channel. Like, at one point in time, I was like posting a meme of the day, and if they were a little bit spicy, he was having me take them down because for some reason he was using my YouTube channel, my pre-built audience, for his school whatever, and it hit some uncomfortable points. That's basically who Nate was. Somebody who basically came in, tried to exist off what was at the time, not whatever, but a slightly rising star at the moment, and that dude, me, looked at him and went, "Dude, I see right through you," and kicked him to the curb. There you go.
In a box. I make my content, and people have the free will to decide what they want to enjoy about it or what they don't. It's people like you who put me in this sort of pedestal that makes me feel like I can't say what I want to say when it comes to Star Wars, and it drives me absolutely fucking insane. Because I started...
That's the price you pay for the power you wanted, sir.
On this platform with 0 subscribers, and people were always thinking I was the underdog. I was the dude that just came around, "Oh, well, he's so slept on, he's underrated." And now all of a sudden I have this moral obligation to feel like I can't say a single thing out of my mouth without someone like you or other people putting me in this sort of...
Now remember, again, this is the first time the world had ever seen this kid. This poor kid down here in this bottom left corner, okay? And this kid, Levi Bond. This was his big moment. And this is what it turned into. You had the largest Star Wars channel. Again, the kid pointed out, that, he needed to sort of wield his power with, some respect and all that. And even Theory points out that, oh, whatever. And then look at what he's doing with it, man.
I'm sorry that I came.
You're not sorry because we were having a civil discussion. Out of the blue, you start throwing darts at me, saying that I don't like your channel anymore. Well, what is that?
No,
what the hell is that?
I came in and I wanted to be real. That I had, some.
And I'm real, and I'm real on my channel. So you go be how you want to be on your channel. I'm going to be how I want to be on my channel.
I didn't. That is fair, but I don't want to. I want to try to show people that we can talk to each other, and
we can talk to each other. We can talk to each other normally, but don't tell me how to be on my channel. Don't tell me I have a moral obligation and tell me something about American politics.
I'm sorry, dude, but I would tell you the same. I'd tell you straight to your fucking face. You have a moral obligation to your fans, and you have let them down the last years. You chinched out on the Vader Live series that you were doing, okay? And you went all fucking animation. You have no involvement with it whatsoever. It's why you're completely shocked on streams constantly. You're like, oh man, I've not seen this. I don't even know what's going to happen here. How do you not know? How are you making a product like that and you have had no fucking involvement? It shows that you literally just paying somebody else to make something to then have a product to put on your channel and be all big and whatever. Oh yeah, look what I did. You didn't do anything. You literally just paid somebody else to do it. It's the same with the rest of your material nowadays. You have somebody else do your writing. You have somebody else do your editing. You're doing nothing. You probably have your voice on AI now and just do it that way. Like,
politics that I know nothing about. I'm not a politician.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to make an allegory because this is my channel and how I conduct myself on this channel.
And the truth is somebody in such a powerful position is a spoiled fucking brat. He has lived off this I'm a cancer survivor bullshit. Probably never got disciplined hardly for crap in his life. Got everything fucking handed to him because everybody felt, oh, poor dude, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and we all know, like, I'm going to be honest. If you actually go back, go way back, go to Star Wars Theory channel and go all the way back to where it all first started and watch and really actually pay attention to the comments, pay attention to his things and going on and watch how many saber giveaways he was doing. Watch how every time he does this, his subscriber count grows. Watch how the dude's first videos started. He wasn't at 0 subs. Now, that's not something you can really be too sus about when it's just like maybe 1 to 3K, maybe 5K even, because the channel probably had a lot of change of directions and built up some steam and a little bit of a platform beforehand before they finally found their true direction. But he didn't start off with that little. One of these things just doesn't belong here. I'm just saying.
It's self-explanatory. If you want to take my opinions about Star Wars into your own narrative and push it on me just because I have a certain number of subscribers, then that's on you. That's not me.
No, I didn't mean to.
You did mean. You did mean. It was.
No, he didn't. He was not trying to offend you, dude. You're just acting like a fucking idiot.
It was a conversation that was completely.
But notice how this dude is going off on a kid and not a single one of these other people are saying a damn thing. She's enjoying it. He is sitting there like, you can tell he's a little bit disappointed. This dude's enjoying. She don't give a shit. And she's kind of like, wow, this is a little bit tense. And then she's probably looking at dick pics.
Completely irrelevant towards me or my channel or whatever, and all of a sudden you start talking about my channel, and you think I'm just going to sit here?
And it was prepared. No. And it was prepared.
No. You prepared?
And Josh, here he goes, like he always does, stoking the fire. Now that we know how Josh really is, now we understand how this was all playing in. Josh right here, instead of vying for peace, like she was trying to do a few moments ago or a moment ago, he decides, oh, I'm going to stoke it up. Oh, and it was prepared. It was prepared. No, some people are good at just kind of coming up with that stuff. Like, I got a loose idea what I want to say. And this is where, like, for instance, if I'm actually having a true diplomatic decision or discussion with somebody, my pacing completely changes. I think out the entire sentence before I say it. I think about the implications. Whereas this guy was kind of talking off the cuff, which is probably where he buried himself a little bit with somebody who was ready to snap. Obviously, like Theory, like you can tell at the beginning of this video, but like I said, the body language, you could tell Theory was already wound up and ready to go. He was looking for somebody to snap on.
Heard that shit, and you were ready to say it.
I'll just say this too.
Come on, man.
No. Don't, you can't, no, you can't. Yeah, that's great.
Come on, Josh. If you're going to fucking keep stirring shit, speak up. Don't do it quietly and subtly, you little bitch.
That's great. And you can't play the victim card now, which is what a lot of people do whenever they do say something about me. And then I answer back.
No, I'm saying I'm sorry I came in hot. I have.
See, that's the thing, Theory. They come in, they have an argument, they say it eloquently, calmly, and you go like that. All right. Now, I know from prime example that does not work out. Okay. There is a time for your emotion. Like when you're the one initially dropping, it's okay to probably vent in that. Like when I did my video about Jawa or whatever, I look at this and I went, no, this was a valid crash out. This was 10 years of build up. I was tired of shit being compartmentalized and the lies and just all that bullshit. I was not going to fucking just have them have the say this time. I was going to, gather all the logs, gather everything and just say, fuck it. There's a difference between going on the final, like going on an offensive to like finally defend yourself, finally do whatever. And then there's what Theory's doing, which is, dude, the guy had like a completely valid thing. He came in calm, collected, said what he said. And from there on, you have been exploding on him. You haven't even let things calm down. And you got Josh here, as always, like I said, stoking the flames, just waiting. You can tell this dude right here was probably the narc in school or something like that. The shit starter, the dude that needed to get his fucking ass beat.
I've been thinking about this a while.
Yeah, why'd you come in hot, dude? I gave people permission for you to come in here and talk, and all of a sudden you come in here and you start taking a shit.
No, I'm sorry, man. I wanted to show people that we could talk about Star Wars, and I feel now that I've ruined the mood a bit, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to sort of express the view that,
And this, I'm going to be honest, because this is something that whatever. For anyone who still has association with Star Wars Theory, I would distance yourselves, because from the fans' point of view, and I was a staunch Theory supporter until like this last 2 years ago. Again, when I found out absolute firsthand stories of how he's actually like, when I seen things like this, when I worked with Nate, who works with Mike and him, both, the way they were, and realized, wow, this is the people he surrounds himself with. And I see that also consistently, with some of these people, even, through actions that we've seen later play out since, this all happened. Like we've had the whole thing between Josh being a little bitch, whatever. Well, we're not going to go into it completely. But let's just say, all right, so it was a long process. It took like 10 years of different shit happening. But it ended, I should say. The final breaking point for me was, so after, I was in the clan for almost 2 years or something like that, 1.5 years, 2 years, and I finally put in for admin. And this is after being told, like, I put in for admin. Just to explain, admin is just where the admin I was aiming for wasn't even high admin. The admin I was aiming for would allow me to change maps, spawn some NPCs, event planner stuff. That's what I was. I was an event planner, and I wanted to be able to just do it on my own, where I could just change the map, spawn the NPCs, and kind of run a dungeon, run people through the scenario. That was my ambition. I had no ambitions of council or even to hire admin. I literally just wanted that. That was it. So I got told, I needed to wait a while, the first time, and that was fine. I waited instead of waiting just 6 months or a year, I waited 1 year and 4 months. And I finally was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to finally apply for that. I got some free time, why not? So I applied for admin. You also have some social duties, which is, you kind of got to help people, the other admins, sometimes. Now, being a low level admin, like the first 6 months or a year, you're really not allowed to do shit on your own unless like your handler kind of tells you whatever. You're kind of like a training program. So anyways, I digress. Just kind of explain what admin is, because not a lot of people know what the hell that is. They normally have what's called an admin trial. Mine got scheduled, and normally it takes place on the main server, and it's really just usually, what's the word for it? Where something doesn't. It's just kind of talk and go. Okay, so this is Maybe they ask you a few questions, personality, whatever, and kind of make sure they help guide you the right way. But for the most part, it never goes the way it did for me. And I have the logs of this, by the way. The actual original logs still in my game data folder, sitting right there. I've also made copies of it in several places and whatnot. I even filmed this while it was happening. Because I was expecting it to be a really good moment, you know, whatever. I was really hyped up. Yes, moderators, basically moderators. Yes, except for I would have been a low level moderator, just mostly around events. You know, again, you know, I can take people to the map that we need to be on, the world, the level, whatever, and I could spawn the NPCs, the enemy characters, and place them where I wanted and do different things. And you know, I could teleport people around, do some other things. I couldn't ban or kick or anything like that, or any of the real punishment end. It was just the creative end that I was aiming at. So I apply for this admin, not council or anything, because I'm only a knight. In their ranks, which is like, I know, like halfway. I am nowhere near being able to apply for council. Okay, so during this admin trial, they decided to do it over on the private server, which was like, oh crap, an anxiety spike #1. Shit. So Seth and Fox were two of the people doing the admin trial, and Helena and Wolfie were the other two. Helena and Wolfie apparently had discussed beforehand how they were going to handle the admin trial. Now, something that should be understood is that Helena, on the surface, has always, you know, staunchly supported me. But it turns out, and I have the logs of this as well, that she's always been secretly very jealous and intimidated. She was afraid that my maps were going to that I would basically replace her as the main mapper for Jawa. That was sort of her fear. And that wasn't what I was aiming at all. I was just doing my thing. I don't care about your whatever. I'm not trying to compete with you. There's no need to compete. You know, I'm not even going to get into that because it just sounds like a dick. I try to say basically the truth on it. But what basically came out was she'd always been secretly jealous of me, you know, intimidated, whatever the hell it was. But she would get very confused because I would never actually do the things that she was, how would I put it? She was expecting more ego, more whatever. And instead, I'm always like trying to help her, always trying to help other people. And this kind of pissed her off more. And so she decided to go on this whole subtle undermining. So she would publicly support me. And especially in this sort of position, she was supporting me. Oh, the only one, and apparently at first, it was like, oh yeah, give Angel a chance for being admin, just so she could get you in the admin trial. And this was more important because when I asked a buddy of mine who deals with psychology to kind of go through the whole log, he basically said, he's like, they weren't giving you a trial on whether or not you should be an admin. It was a trial laying out to everyone else their narrative that they wanted to sell to Fox and Seth of, you know, the events and, you know, who I am with, you know, all that kind of crap. But it was more or less to tell you why they don't want you as an admin, not even things you could change. He said the way that Helena would come in, and he said, when you break it down, you have Helena demanding analytical answers from you and asking some really deep crap. And you got Wolfie over here demanding, she wanted emotion. He wanted like analytical. If you were emotional, he would say you were trying to manipulate. Fox and Seth are the only two council members in this situation that actually stayed on par, that were asking legitimate things. It made sense. It actually made me think, you know, about why I was wanting to be an admin and, you know, the task itself. And then it got very personal. This is where it really starts to get fucked up, because up until now, it's just been like, whatever. Okay, why are you bitching? If you were applying for admin in a game, do you think it's appropriate for them to bring up your ex-girlfriend? To literally point out that your inability to maintain that relationship was a reflection of how you are as a person, or would be as an admin. Think about that. What the fuck does my ex have to do with it? Let me remind you that the ex that they were mentioning was a former clan member themselves, but has long since walked away because of the bullshit. The last time me and said X talked, we were perfectly fine. There are people who in that same clan, they can attest to that. They hung out with us the last time that they were around, and there was nothing wrong. They were not mad at me at all. The last time I had any sort of contact with them through a message, nothing wrong. I've even confirmed since, dude, do you like secretly have an issue with me? Nothing wrong. So me and my ex are amicably split. What they're upset about and why they brought her into it is that she was a member during the time that I originally left 10 years ago. And she left with me. Seeing the exact same problem, seeing, you know, how Link and everybody had just handled the situation. And I won't get into that today because that is a long story, but essentially the administration of Jawa has not liked that I will not settle for a system where your council is voting on who's going to be its own council. Your council is voting on or selecting leaders, and you're not even giving any shits what the other players think. You're voting people to leadership positions in 10 months versus the like 2 or 3 or 4 years it's supposed to take because you favor them. And this always ends up back like that one clan in that one game in particular has had a notorious history of just leadership issues, and they cannot see that it is the way that they go about it. The third thing that they really screwed up during the admin trial was that they also brought up my cannabis use, which, again, I have medical cannabis. I have to use cannabis because I'm in a lot of pain. And I can't take a lot of pain medications and everything like that because I have a kidney that's like half the size of normal over here. And you don't need to be processing a lot of things. Like, it's just my better option. Plus, I don't want to get hooked on opioids and all that kind of crap. So this whole admin trial is just a big embarrassing farce. And even Fox and Seth, apparently, quote unquote, went off on Wolfie and Helena afterwards for the way it was handled and that the whole admin trial process was going to get changed. In the meantime, they did me the dignity. Instead of making me wait a year to apply for admin, they were like, you can try again in 6 months. Dude, this whole thing should have just been a mistrial. Now, something to me should be understood. I didn't really care so much about the admin at this point. It was like, dude, it's 10 years later and you guys are bringing this all up again. And you're bringing my ex into it, and you're bringing up my like personal life into this. You don't do this with other people. Why do you consistently do this with me? Because you want to protect this narrative of where you screwed up 10 years ago. You chose the wrong person to side with. You chose to side with Link, who later, just like a year or so later, ended up fucking betraying them way worse than I ever could have. To briefly explain, this all started about 10 years ago when Jacoby became leader over fucking night. There were several of us who had only seen him, who were very active every day, who'd only seen him in game twice. The entire fucking 10 months he was in at that point. It was like in 10 and a half months, and he was already made a co-leader. And they said it was because of a lot of the shit he did on the forums, on the backside helping. But then when you talk to the people that he worked with, which we did at the time and was part of my case in point back then, then everybody who had worked with him were reporting that he didn't really do any of the work. He would delegate this part of the task and this part of the task to different people, and then come back like 3 weeks later after like not having been seen hardly, gather up all the stuff and turn it in and be like, yeah, I did all this, and was basically just taking all the credit. He really wasn't doing anything himself. So, and there was also a lot of weird stuff where at the time we had, some of us, the 2 times we had seen Jacoby, he was talking to individuals that nobody should be talking to in game. If you're talking to them, there's something sus. And it was at the same time that we saw then Link also start talking to those same individuals. And this is why some of us were instantly kind of sus of the whole situation. And so during Jacoby's congratulations post, I went off the fucking handle. I called it all out. I called every last bit of it out. They then turned it around to where, if you just made a post, over there in the public side, whatnot, we wouldn't be upset about this. Okay. So I go over there and I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to get upset for how I say it, what I say. I'm just going to state my case right. And that's okay. Yes. You won't get in any trouble. Bullshit. Next thing I know, within 30, 45 minutes, the topic has been completely locked. Nobody's allowed to see it. And I have been pulled into a DM dog pile on the forum. I'm getting hit up on my Discord, blown up by different admins and council members and shit, just going off on me literally for just calling out their power structure and saying, this isn't right. Basically, my whole point was to them that you guys need some sort of oversight, or you need to, like, next time you're going to just like randomly choose a leader, a wise move would be to like create a post that person is not going to be able to see. In this case, Jacoby. And you ask everybody else the question, hey, we're thinking about making so-and-so a co-leader. We've pretty much already made up our mind, but before we do, we kind of want to, throw the idea out there for you guys and get the feedback. This is how a community is supposed to work. Not, oh, well, we're the yellow ranks and fuck the cyan ranks. They don't have any say. So that is where it all started. It was Link did not like being called out. His council did not like being called out over the way that they were choosing people. And they did not like the idea of having some sort of oversight committee or some sort of something along those lines. And they didn't like that there were people that agreed with me. They didn't like that some of their most active people at the time kind of agreed with me. And I think that another part of it was that I was like really at the peak as far as like my mapping at that point in time. And I kind of wonder, sounds like people had your back after that mod tryout. They couldn't help you more. That was sort of the issue. Yes. So like I said, I was going to have to wait 6 months to apply for admin again, but I really wasn't concerned about that. But here's the thing is when I had been made to join Java, or not been made to join, when I had rejoined Java just a couple years prior, I had been made to publicly apologize, which itself was a lie because I was apologizing for things that I had been warped the wrong way. They told everybody that I just viciously, verbally attacked the council. They never told them what the argument was about. They never told them why. They kept everything compartmentalized and whatever. And again, they shine everybody in a very negative light. It's like now, if you go and read the posts when they removed me this time, they say that I freaked out on them because I didn't get admin and council. I wasn't applying for council, and it wasn't why I freaked out. I got pissed off because of the treatment, because of the reasons that I was denied admin, and it comes back to this. So in that 10-year gap, that going back 10 years, when it all was almost finished up, like me, Helena, and a couple others, or specifically me and Helena had really kind of talked it out, and this is all going on in this clan DM, which again I have the logs for. You have deleted user, which is Link, come in right as me and Helena get it all fucking solved. And he literally says the words, well, that's not really good enough now, is it? And he literally goes back on the attack again and keeps it going. So here's something I would say. When it comes to leadership, sometimes you got to sit back and just let your underlings, however you want to word them, phrase that, your lower members just vent. And understand that, look, man, if this guy is coming to me and he's a little pissed off, whatever, see through that. Listen to what he's actually saying. Is it going to help for me to react in a negative way? No. So from there on, literally their choice of how to react, from the dog pile to the way they would not let it in, the way they would not let it go, was on them, not me. I had tried to end it several times already by all the way through the process. This had all gone just a little too far. So thinking back on it, the biggest fuck up, the second biggest thing was during that whole big DM with clan, I pointed out to him that, their system had led to favoritism. And he literally Link says the dumbest shit I swear I've ever heard in my life. Well, if we went with a democratic system, it would just lead to favoritism as well. And again, I point out, what has your system so far led to? Favoritism and failure after failure after failure. And now here we are, where you again, as leaders, are failing to act like leaders. You're punishing the messenger instead of actually hearing the complaint, and you're adding fuel to the fire. You're choosing how big of a deal this is. The other person is wanting to back off. They're like, whatever, cool, I get it. You know, I'm not going to win against a dog pile. And yeah, it basically came down to, so here we are 10 years later, Fox and Seth see what happened, and they already knew kind of the story beforehand, because they'd spoken to me about what had happened, 10 years prior and everything. And I'd shown them the logs. I had shown them, what had happened and explained it all. But like I said, when I had to rejoin Java, I had to write a formal apology. I also had to reach out to certain individuals and apologize. Well, here was also the other wonderful mindfuck. They would tell you, you can rejoin Java after you apologize to all the people you hurt. Well, who all did I hurt? That's for you to figure out. Like, if you know a list of like top 5 people that are kind of pissed off at me, at least point me in a direction. I don't know. So really, it just comes down to they were kind of just butthurt about the power structure getting called out both times. And so when it was about 2 or 3, maybe 4 months, I don't know, later, when I decided I was just going to walk away from Java this time. I was done. I was going to make that stream that I put up a long time ago. When this all played out, 6, 7, 8 months ago. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to think this out because I've not really thought about some of this in a minute. It kind of came down to, they chose how they were going to react from there. They chose to go so far as to get me banned and removed from the different Discords. They chose to not even talk to me, other than to just accuse, and demand that I take things down, and demand I change my point of view, instead of realizing what you did that led to the situation. And like I said before, I had been made to do a public apology, and I kept telling them I wasn't happy with this. The truth needs to come out. You guys need to finally write up a post about what happened 10 years ago. And you need to call out Helena. You need to call out Wolfie. You need to call out Link. Sorry, my face is like itching. The hairs are blowing everywhere. You don't have to do it in a horrible way, but you need to actually make them hold accountability. Like, you have screwed somebody over out of jealousy, fear, and it's completely stupid. And the right actions were not taken. I kept telling him I was not happy. I'm really about to just fucking snap. I kept having to work with Helena as on different levels. And okay, so here was my other thing with Helena is, even after the admin trial, she would come to me, and again, I have logs of all this, and it was like this small, half-hearted fucking apology. Well, here's why. Because you have Fox and Seth, right? Some of my closest, Fox, no, Seth, definitely one of my closest friends. Fox, kind of like an acquaintance I knew pretty well, whatnot. And I've asked myself the same question, bud. Why didn't they help? Because there they are in council positions. They know what happens. And yet, because nobody did anything, and I finally make my own video where I call out the thing, because you won't do it. You won't correct the situation. But I'm expected to continue dealing with the ramifications and be talked about and treated like I did all of this back here. Like I'm a bad person, when really it's been you you've slandered and defamated me for fucking 10 years, and you expect me not to get pissed. That's basically what it came down to. And like I said, I do question, why didn't my friends help? That's probably one of the biggest reasons I hardly talk to Seth. Where were you, dude? You knew when hell happened. You knew I was getting pissed. You knew something should have been done. When you get a half-hearted apology from Helena, and then 5 seconds later, she's asking you for help. And this happened like 3 times after that event, even the whole admin event. And like you said, it is very confusing. And that is part of the problem is, here I am. I've had to deal with this kind of alone, like pretty much like it's like a buddy of mine said here recently, and this is what I've kind of gone on about here the past couple of days. Something that's very dangerous is when somebody comes to you with a problem and you refuse to look at the evidence out of loyalty. You are compromised. And that is the problem that I'm like pretty much facing that entire game. And then you start actually talking to what some people call the trolls, you know, all that kind of crap. And you find out that their stories are very similar. That's why they are the way they are, why they don't join the clans, why they don't really have anything to do with it. Because when I come to you guys over here, you don't do anything either. You don't help. You just, oh, I don't want to believe that happened, and turn away. Well, I continue to just be ostracized, talked down to, and what did I do that really deserved that? Nothing. Because I told some people to fuck off and they didn't like it because they've been fucking me over for 10 years. Anyways, let's get back to this because I don't want to talk about that anymore. And this right here, you know, this is the sort of mentality, what you're seeing in this video, that I've been going up against for like the last decade.
You know, I think this war represents a failure. So listen, I wanted to hear what you had to say, and like I said, I am a big fan of the channel and both of your channels.
Clearly.
No, I know. I'm sorry, man, but you guys are big, and so this has put a lot of pressure on me, and I have to think about
We are
this.
big. You know how we got big? We didn't get big because our parents gave us this fucking ability to have this big
And I didn't
channel.
say- I
We're
don't-
big because we worked hard and we.
I was gonna say that's kind of a dickhead move. Sorry, but a lot of people know your backstory, Mina, or whatever the fuck your name is, dude. You were kind of handed everything as well. Yeah, you had some struggle points, but you kind of got handed a lot of things, not so much necessarily by your family, but by everyone else who felt bad around you. So yeah, you dude, you're just a dick, man. You're just a dick.
We believe in Star Wars and we love Star Wars and people subscribe to that idea
I
of
do
our
too,
channel.
and I love
And
Star
they
Wars.
No. How you got so big is you bought your fucking subscribers. That's how you got that big theory. You kept doing saber giveaway. And of course, note, by the way, that it was all the Disney product versions of lightsabers back in the day. He wouldn't dare sell it to somebody other retailer or whatnot. No.
enjoy our
And I wanna
content.
talk to you.
It's not because we're dividing it. If we're really dividing a fandom, then we would be the smallest channel. Then what the hell, what are we doing here? We're not creating crap. Obviously, people are enjoying our content. Well, you came in here out of the blue and started saying stuff. So I don't know, you can't backtrack.
What specifically, just to get more to the heart of the issue, you know, you have problems because you say he's the biggest and therefore he has the obligation. So is it literally as simple as you want him to colloquially speak the same way you do so that it makes perfect sense to you?
Well, I would say if this guy were actually handed everything that you had theory, he probably would have done better because he actually knows how to, he know how to diplomacy. You do not. You do not. That's why most people who have worked with you in the YouTube realm, a lot of people don't want to work with you. They just don't, man.
That he's respecting the platform? Because that's like super selfish, dude. That doesn't
I mean,
even make sense.
I think you put me in a little bit of a box there, Josh.
I put you in a box.
He really did. Again, Josh just stirring shit as usual.
I said, Josh,
I don't think anyone's putting you in a box. I think you came in here and threw us in a box.
No, I'm sorry you feel that way. No,
No, that's not an apology. That's just you saying, I'm sorry I feel that way. That is how I feel because that's what you did.
No, I'm sorry.
What you feel is not reality, man.
Made you feel that way. I didn't mean to, and I recognize now that I may have come in a little too strong because I, been thinking about this, watching from the outside in.
Why would you even come in here and start talking about how you don't like my channel, have problems with my channel? How did you
see? Why would you gather a whole bunch of people, theory, if you're not willing to hear opinions that you don't like? Why would you gather people from the opposite side of the fence as far as the fandom if you didn't want, a little bit of pushback? Because I guarantee you'd have been willing to dish out some pushback, and you have. You've done it before. You've done it since. So, what?
did you think that was going to turn out?
Well, the last time you brought people.
I don't know. I've never seen you before. I have no clue who you are, and this is your first impression. You want to come
for the record, but
well, I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's how he is, dude. Okay, this is another thing that really upset me. Is like, okay, so there was a thing from him in the con last year or the year before, and he had somebody like walk up to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can't remember what the guy's role. If he was one of his voice actors or his visual effects or something like he should have been like working one-on-one, like had worked one-on-one a lot with apparently." And he's like, "Oh yeah, man, what's up?" And the guy, Theory, like did not even remember him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, cool." And it was just awkward. Like you could tell, like he had no give a shits or fucking clue who the hell this dude was. And it's kind of like, how do you not remember people like this? I just don't get that. I don't get why he has to do people that way.
I'm sorry. You were really nice to me. You know, I was the first person you saw at Star Wars Celebration 2019 when you released the Mace Amethyst trail. No,
well, why didn't you tell me then before that you have a problem with my channel, but you choose to come here publicly and say you have a problem with my channel in front of 2,000 people?
I didn't.
Now is when you
like
choose
that.
to do
In the past, you had brought.
See, that's the problem, Theory. You never let the kid actually finish because where he was going was way beyond that. But you, like a teenage girl, heard key words, your emotions triggered, your fifis kicked in, and you went on the attack. And it was from this moment on, Theory, that you lost a lot of us. I'm going to be real with you.
Brought on people, you said, let's debate, you know, I want people who have issues with me, or so to speak.
Yeah, we're not doing that right now. We're talking about Star Wars.
Well, I'm sorry, that's my own misconception about it.
I had issues with Chaco before. Him and I talked, and we figured things out. But you come in here, I have no clue who you are.
I'm sorry, Theory. I was trying to talk to you now and, you know, show that we don't have to be.
I'm tired of that.
But I'm just trying to have a dialogue. I'm sorry. I recognize that I may have come in, you know, really strong. Like I said, you're much bigger than I am. Obviously, you're the biggest.
That doesn't matter. Why are you so obsessed with subs? It doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm saying it put pressure on me. Like,
see, that's easy for you to say, Theory, with you have all the subs. Why do people at the top always say that? Oh, this doesn't matter. You know, well, yeah, it doesn't matter to you anymore because you already made the climb. You already went through the exhalation and the excitement and all that. And for you, it's just a kind of if you've gotten to this point, you're fucking jaded. Like you're just jaded, dude. Like you are arrogant. You have lost your fucking way.
In my own brain, I had, you know.
It put pressure on you, so then you came in here and called me out?
No, that's not what
But I'd still say this. This is very much like the Jawa Council. Yeah, what I may have done might have offended you. You chose how to react. You chose how far it went. And you are still choosing how far it goes. Tell the fucking truth for once. Because someday I'm going to have enough. I am going to show the logs. And I won't censor it. I'll show the whole damn thing.
Hey, man,
so just keep pushing. That's all I'll say. Keep pushing.
I mean, and the way it may have been said, like I was nervous because this is huge. This is a huge platform that you have. So I was nervous, and so it may have.
And then what the kid is saying is completely valid. You know, I mean, he's like, man, I came in here. This is a huge whatever. I'm feeling a little intimidated, a little whatever. And he is. He's absolutely right. You know, where, you know, dude, you feel dogpiled right now. Not a single one of these people is like trying to help step up and mediate. The only thing you do have, as typical, Josh stirring the shit. Catherine sitting there looking like she's just enjoying this. She is totally just checked out. Lauren is like, oh, holy crap. Choco is like trying not to fucking die laughing. Lord Callus looks like he's actually off just reading something, whatever. And Sawyerism, whatever, looks like she hasn't gotten laid in a week and she's got resting bitch face. So, yeah. And then you got this kid here who's a bit of a dweeb, but crap. Like, Levi, if you're out there, don't stop. Restart your channel, whatever's going on. Keep going with your channel. I don't know. But fuck Theory. Fuck what he did to you. That was messed up. You were a kid. That's the other thing I want to point out. You are a grown ass fucking man with a 3 million subscriber channel at that time. Okay. This is a dude. I don't even fucking know him. This is a kid. and you're going to go off on him like this in public, like you want to talk about what people should do on the platform publicly, then maybe you should have taken that off privately. All right. Like you should have just played it cool. Maybe send some DMs around real quick. Hey, bro, can you drop that topic? Can you just not go there? You know, whatever. We'll talk about that later. All right, fine. Do that off the record. Don't blow up like that on a fucking kid on a fucking live stream, dude. Like,
came out, not the way I wanted it to, and I apologize.
You came in here and started talking about the things that you're doing, which is great. I want to highlight smaller channels, but then you started twisting it and saying you have a problem with my channel.
No, I wanted to say that I had not with your whole channel. I think you make some really great content. Your animations are superb.
But
So yeah, this must have all happened about 4 years ago, because that's when I see these both came up. So yeah, it must have been about 4.5 years ago, maybe going on 5 now, just due to timing and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. That's all I really want to talk about on the Star Wars Theory note. It's just the dude is not a good guy to work with. And like I said, I would suggest that until the guy grows up and really appreciates what he has, people should probably be careful and just kind of distance yourself. Just kind of back off. Because the road he's going down now, especially with, like, for instance, the sabers and all that kind of crap, nobody cares about his fucking lightsabers. There's already a bunch of other companies that are better at them. All he's doing is taking lightsabers from another company and reboxing them, throwing his signature on them once in a while. My God, why is it like this thing, no matter what, is just loud? Like, it's not like he opened up a company where they're building them and his cores are the exact same as any others. He throws his own little saber fonts on there. Woo! That's not that hard to do. You could do that yourself at home. Like, no issue. It's... The dude likes to try to make something special out of trash. And I think somehow or another he's managed to do that for a lot of his life. But then he kind of stepped into the saber arena. LOL, no pun intended. And now he's just kind of getting his ass handed to him. Like, you chose a now dead IP for the most part to become a seller of its whatever, man. Anyways, I am going to end the stream here because I got to talk to the wife here in like 20, 30 minutes. My throat is fucking sore. I might be back afterwards for another couple hours. But until then, again, this video did not go where I was going. I thought I was going to do some mapping. We didn't even do any of that. Maybe someday we'll actually get to some mapping on one of these videos. And again, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to go into the whole freaking Jawa history and whatnot. I was asked what happened. That's just how it is over in the comments area. But if you have any other questions, reach out, leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, share this video, whatever. I'm not telling anybody to like unsub from freaking Star Wars here. I'm not going to be that dude, but I am going to say you probably, just like any content creator, even me, do your digging. Like, really know who the hell you're supporting, because a lot of these people, it's sort of like Nate. When I first met him, really seemed like a really great guy. But then you see that they are willing to sell out. And the sad part is that the dude calls himself like a hardcore Christian. And then it's like, bro, if I see you sell out on this minuscule level, I kind of feel like you'd probably sell out Jesus. I'm gonna be real. I know it sounds really like crazy, but from that moment on, I just kept looking at Nate and I'm like, dude, you're basically Judas. Like, the moment he did the whole thing with theory and he was all, whatever about fucking Kyle Katarn, fake news Kyle Katarn. Nah. But yeah, I'm going to end this here. Peace, love, and may the force be with you guys. And to all my haters, as usual, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. You've been dealing with me on my smallest fucking face, and you can't even deal with that. So, peace out. And just so it's in there, because it cut me out one time doing it. Specific people. Very specific people. I know I shouldn't be that petty, But at the same time, like, go fuck yourself, Helena. Go fuck yourself, Fox. Like, especially you, Fox. I was gonna say this. I was your friend. You didn't give me a chance. You were the first one to be like, oh, you're removed. Whatever, dude. Hope you all have a good life. Peace, love, and may the force be with you. This will be the absolute last time I ever talk about this. So from now on, I'm just going to refer back to this video. People ask about this because I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to move on. Can't help being a little upset because, again, you guys kind of screwed up 20 years of work.